Morrissey, that's how people grow up. You're listening to Russell Brand live on BBC Radio 2. I'm here with Matt Morgan. Hello, Matt Morgan.
Isn't he a live wire?
I'm a real live wire. I've
Do
got
your
a song.
flies up.
I ain't do my flies up. In fact,
No, come on, don't start
I'll
like
raise ya.
that. Don't start like that, Bill.
I had to have
Build to it.
What? Build towards that. 'Cause if we start off at the point of genital flashing, we've got no mountains left to climb, like Alexander himself, who wept salt tears at the age of 21 that there were no more kingdoms left to conquer.
What on earth are you going on about?
Well, I'm just saying that's what Alexander went through when he was 21. He'd conquered everything. He'd conquered the known world. Very much like me bearing my genitals in the opening minute of our radio show. Ah, Matt. It's going to be another show tonight. Mr. G is here, poet laureate of the show. Not to mention a couple of drifters. We've got these karaoke people in here, because like later on, guess who's coming in here? Chrissy Hind out of the Pretenders coming in here.
Has she agreed to do karaoke?
Well, no.
You have to check that with the record company.
I ain't checking nothing with a record company, right? Because remember when we done that gig that time, that charity fundraiser for Palestinian children, we done it at Ronnie Scott's. Elton John was there doing something.
I'd like to be included, but I
Nick
didn't really
Cave.
do anything. I don't know why you're saying we.
Weren't you even there?
I was there, but I was
Well, there
just
you are then,
sat
we
down.
done it. I know, I was stood at this side of the stage, this woman kept bothering me. Could you get out of the way? Could you get out of the way? I was saying, who is this old bag? Leave me alone. That's Shirley Bassey. But like, I was trying to compare the bloody gig, and she was going, could you step outside, get out of my way, you're in the way, you're bothering me.
Oh, wise guy.
Hey, what are you, some kind of goddamn man?
I'm Dave Bassett.
Hey, I'm Fred Bassett. I got a lot of things to do.
I'm Bertie Bassett.
I got all sorts. I'm a lovable bloodhound. So, no, she was lovely, old Dame Shirley Bassey, but, you know, it was weird, because I was stood at the side of the stage, because I had to walk on the bloody stage
It
any
was
minute.
an interesting night, wasn't it?
It was good night. Why?
Who
What
was
you...
there? Nick Cave was doing
Nick
karaoke.
Cave, Elton John, Williams was
Elton
there.
John wasn't there.
Elton John did. What did he do?
Oh, yeah, he did. He did Elvis.
He did Elvis, like, I don't
blanked
know,
that out.
Love Me Tender, I think he did something at the end.
Must maybe Elton grabbed me afterwards.
Of course he
Not that
did.
I remember he was there.
You don't remember a thing from that night.
Mr. John.
And never again trust uncles. Never trust an uncle. Yeah, and then so that night I met Chrissy Hind, and she was like, she came over with Jeff Beck, who was lovely and really friendly and nice and complimentary and flattering and gorgeous. Chrissy Hind was pissed and kept coming over. Sorry for my language. Kept coming over and saying like, "Hey Russell, come and let's do a song," and all this kept like and bullied me, like kept bullying me to do Islands in the Stream. And I was thinking, well, I've got to do it, haven't I? Because like, if Chrissy Hind asks you to sing a duet in karaoke, you've got to like when you look back over your life, you're not going to think, oh, I should never have bothered to do that duet with Chrissy Hind. But I'd had a hard day. I'd been on Jonathan Ross's show earlier. I just couldn't be arsed with it all, so I didn't bother.
do it?
I didn't do it. But now I bumped into Chrissy Hind in a vegetarian restaurant that I frequent called Eatin' to Veg, very fine vegetarian restaurant, if I may say so. And like, while I bumped into her in there, and she goes, "Oh, hello." Started chatting to her. She's nice. She's sort of sexy, actually, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
I liked her.
So what, you're going to sing Islands in the Stream?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I will. It'll be a version of it. If you can imagine Islands in the Streams. Much slower, asthmatic version of Islands in the Stream. Also, later on the show, we're doing a special edition of my new item, Gay, with Dale Winton guest hosting it. We're just going to go. Dale's going to do it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Because I believe, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe Dale is a gay gentleman, so he'll do it. That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So that's another item. We might, Matt, talk to a Scientologist, but we're wondering whether or not that will lead to our lives becoming massively complicated, in case we don't agree with it.
Why? No, let's not.
Well, because we like things like that. Ike, Rail, you know, Ike, we love him and his theories. Rail, who went off with the extraterrestrials, I'm banging to him. I'm up for anyone who's into aliens. I like it. So what are you looking at me like that for? Look at Matt trying to cagely step round saying anything negative about Scientology in case he ruins his career. What are you worried about? They're all right. They're a good bunch, the old Scientologists, I think. No, he's not. I don't know.
I'm not going to get involved in that.
You are. I'll drag you into this Scientology like it was 5 years ago in a massage parlour. I'll drag you in there screaming and involve you in this Scientology ruck. What's the matter? Look, you don't
I
even
thought you were
wanna
going to talk
mention
about
it.
that Morrissey thing.
I'm going
You
to
just
talk about the
played
Morrissey thing. There's loads of things. The reason I played Morrissey is I went to a Morrissey gig the other night. Went quite well. What happened was I went to Morrissey on Tuesday. Fantastic, obviously. It's always wonderful
Went
to
on
see Morrissey.
Tuesday.
So
There was a ride on the Friday.
Went on the Friday with Jonathan Ross and Walliam.
Name
and
dropper.
Well, it becomes pertinent to the anecdote. You know what I mean? I'm not just slinging them about, right? And it was quite good. And Morrissey's voice, like, he's obviously unwell. He'd had like loads of injections and whatnot before it. He'd been inoculated before the gig. Then 3 songs in, his voice faltered, failed, and it was clear, right, that Morrissey weren't coming back on stage.
Well, hang on. When you say faltered and failed, what he went?
No, sorry.
No, he didn't sound like John Major. His beautiful vocals were soaring through the Camden Roundhouse, freeing us all, spiritual, like as if it were a slave song. Beautiful stuff. And then, like, he sort of coughed like that, and his voice fell over.
I can't go on.
He didn't even say that. He just off he went. That was it. There was no more Morrissey. He sort of just
How
went
did
away.
he walk off in a huff? Throw his
Not
mic
huffily,
down?
just like and he's not like that, is he, dear Morrissey? He just wandered off. Because I've met him on the Tuesday night. I spent some time chatting to him and stuff. I just thought, when I'm nervous about meeting someone, I just pretend interview him. Just do it like it's a television show. Pretend there's a camera on you. Interview him. I do
Well,
it
that
with,
must
like,
be nice for the other person.
Hello, I'm
You
Russell
shuffling
Brand.
cards. Hello, someone's nan, are you? Well, this is awkward. So you were born in 1942.
Yeah, but I'm good at doing interviews. It'd be good. It'd be awkward if you were attending. Right, what about you? Just now,
Don't
we had to
point
go
at
to the
me.
toilet. I will point. We had to go to the toilet. Me and Matt. Matt needed a wee.
What a lie.
He ran into the toilet, spat on the toilet seat, goes, "No, you can't sit down on it." What kind of fuckish behaviour? And there was a can of crumpled up Stella at the side of the lavvy, and I suspect that you were
I
involved in
haven't
that as
drank
well.
beer for about 2 years.
Why have you given up your... I kindly, out of the goodness of my Christ-like heart, bought you an Xbox, and now you've given up life to spend all your time locked away playing Guitar Hero and some other thing where you're in a war. What's wrong with you?
Well, why did you buy it for me?
Because out of love, and not so that you could give up every other aspect of your life, thinking that the other people in that game are your actual friends.
They
Your
are.
flatmate told me that you've made up a fictional band name. What is your fictional band name?
Why has this turned into a grilling?
Answer the question.
Scientology. There's
Is
a
it
subject I
all
want to
it's
talk
cracked
about.
up to be, or are they merely manipulative crackpots? We'll find out for sure after this important message. What's the name of your fictional band in that game,
In
Rockstar?
Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, what's your name of your band?
I think it's the Jesters of Malice.
I'm Matt Morgan.
It was done ironically because when I was at school, that was the name of. Well, I was
It's
in
not
a
done
band.
ironically. You're trying to live out your childhood dreams. You weren't in a band. You were in a garage, probably with one cousin, sobbing.
We used to do gigs at pubs where we weren't even allowed to be served. We were too young, but we
Oh
were
man, it
playing.
reminds me of the early days of the Pistols. You had a badminton racket and you were in your shed. An
It was a
embarrassment.
hairbrush.
You silly sausage. The Jesters of Malice.
I wanted the band to be called that because I'd drawn a picture.
But what was the... You've drawn
of
a picture.
a jester who looked rather evil. And I thought that was a good name for a band.
Jesters of Malice.
Yeah.
You
Well, I was about 14.
Yeah, well, what are you
weren't
now?
in a band because
30?
you can't share the limelight with anyone. you a crooner at 12.
I'm a little lamb who's lost in the woods.
Trap the boy. I remember once I found your old exercise book and it goes, I love rock legends, the Beatles, Elvis Presley and Bros.
Look! I was very easily...
Russell, and his name was Russell Eddie Brand. He'd written that all over his book.
Look, I make no apologies for being swept up in Bros mania. It infected Grays and Essex very, very powerfully, those boys with their little blonde crew cuts.
Let's get a Bros on here.
We could get... No, the Brosses are off somewhere, aren't they? Like,
What do you mean? Where we've got all sorts on here.
yeah, that's true. If we can
Bagpuss
get...
creator.
Later on, we've got Peter Sallis, voice of Wallace and Gromit out of Last the Summer Wine, commemorative plate
If we
stars.
can get Peter Sutcliffe, then we can get anyone.
Well, we could spring Sutcliffe from Broadmoor and get him in here. I tell you what you want to do, Matt, is get that story about Rose West that was headline Monster Munch. That sounds wacky. We'll be doing that a little bit later. Chrissy Hines going to be in here with me doing Islands in the Stream. So just to clear up the old Morrissey thing. So anyway,
Yeah,
right,
go
this
on.
is what happens. Morrissey's voice falls over. I'm sat there with Walliams. Walliams keeps groping me leg and holding me hand and playing up as usual, much as you'd expect of Walliams at a Morrissey concert, taking every advantage he can of the darkness to slip his hands around my thighs. And then when Morrissey goes off, he goes, Russell, you should go on there and do stand-up. I goes,
Who, Morrissey said that?
Morrissey didn't say that. I'm talking about Walliams. Morrissey's off. He can't speak. He's not going to be making any announcements. Focus, because you're drawing a picture of what looks like an angry, screaming Eminem on your little pad. Take his pens. Take his pens, if that's how it's going to be. Look what he's done. Jesters of malice rule. Okay. You little idiot. Right? So, like, Walliams goes, you should go out there and do stand-up. I goes, I'm not going up there on my own and do stand-up.
Stand-up?
Well, exactly.
He was thrown into the wall.
Of course he was. I goes, look, if you come up there with me, I'll go and make the announcement, because it's pretty clear that Morrissey's not coming back on. Then Jonathan's a couple of seats along. Go, Jonathan, come on, we're going to go out there and do an announcement. We asked Jen, Morrissey's sort of like friend, associate, like, Jen, should we go and do this announcement? She calls backstage, she goes, yeah, they'd love you to. And we all got a bit swept up.
Show-offs.
I know, but like, think about it, right? Listen, it's split between actually quite altruistic, like, oh, stick up for Morrissey, the gig's gone wrong, and yes, vanity of, oh, look, we're friends with Morrissey. Vanity for which we were quite severely punished. We goes right round to the back. We goes round to the backstage area. Part of like sneaking back for the crowd. Are a little bit rowdy by now, suspicious that Morrissey may not be returning. As we walked onto the stage, a low, ferocious hum, a sound I've not heard for quite some time. The sound of booing sort of began. I thought, hold on, what's going on? Because I thought what would happen was, I thought we'd walk out onto the stage, right? Walliams goes, I'll speak first, Russell. Then you sort of do some stuff. Then Jonathan will close, as if we were going out there doing like a Royal Variety performance.
Three amigos.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hey, we're like musketeers.
Bring a balloon, we'll do that balloon dance. Get your clothes off.
People love
this.
this. Great. We are the three failures. Right? He walks out onto the stage before anything. Like Walliams got hold of a mic. He didn't start talking straight away. And I thought, look, I'm an experienced stand-up. What's Walliams? He's a variety performer. He can't work unless he's got a frock on. I better take control of this situation. So I go centre stage. Goes,
oh my
look,
God,
Stephen.
It's the battle of the egos. Walliams didn't speak. He was clearing his throat for a millisecond. So I jumped up. I thought, Walliams has taken a bullet. I'm going for it. Oh, hello.
I go, Stephen, back. Right, the booing's already beginning. I go, Stephen Patrick Morrissey ain't coming on tonight. Boo! Boo! Roars of booing. I thought, this is confusing. Because I thought the overriding sentiment would be, poor Morrissey in well. That's what I thought. But it was just like, where's our product? We've paid for a product. Where is it? Like as if they'd bought a toaster and the toaster had set fire and they couldn't use it. Like,
it's always like that.
But we all saw Morrissey's throat foul, and I know there is a yob contingent at any gig, and Morrissey does appeal to football fans, of which I am one. You know, but I thought, you know, Morrissey, he's all about sort of alienation, isolation, beauty, truth, unity. I thought, like, the people would just go, oh, fair enough, Morrissey ain't very well. I thought people would accept it. I thought people would go, oh, and it's nice of Walliams, Brand and Ross to come up to break it to us nicely. They just, right, Walliams and, like, so the booing was all mental. I was going, hold on, bloody, it was the worst case of don't shoot the messenger I've ever encountered ever. Like, they'd shot the messenger, and I now realise why that maxim must have become popularised. Messengers must get shot a lot, I think.
Yeah.
Messengers must always be getting shot. Also, as David Baddiel pointed out afterwards, messengers don't often get no plaudits. You don't go, well, that's a lovely message, and a round of applause for the messenger, everyone. But if it's bad news, quick enough to condemn the poor messenger, don't be a messenger. Is the short answer to this is, if ever you're at a gig, right, and the act fails, don't go on and sort of go, hi guys, just want
one thing, and then you go on there and it's not going to be that. And they're just, you know, the thing is, when people are in a crowd, they don't behave like they would if they were single.
Diminished responsibility. People had no individual responsibility.
They're drunk.
Because I think if you went to any individual person, look, Morrissey ain't well. You all saw his voice falter and foul and him walk off the stage. You know, nothing we can do about it. You'll be refunded. Keep hold of your ticket, right? You wouldn't. An individual would go, right, come on then, I'll kick your head in.
Yeah.
But as a crowd, it made me feel very positive about the revolution, because I thought, hello, mobs are very easy to lead, but not by me. That was that caveat, that it's very easy to get a rowdy mob going.
No, it's easy if you're in a mob to throw a bottle or they throw stuff.
Yeah, cups, stuff went by. Walliams got hit by a bottle top. He went down like Rodney King. You should have seen him.
Bottle top?
Yeah, just like you know, so yeah, like the size of a tuppence. I'm blind. Oh my God, I'll never work again. Someone call Matt Lucas. Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, and then as we was walking
How did Jonathan Ross take it? Because he's quite a masculine man.
Well, he didn't. I don't think any of us expected it. We were all a bit shell shocked.
Do you think you've all bonded?
Yeah, we were like, goddamn, remember that night? We'll sit around campfires drinking beer years from now.
Vietnam vets.
Man, you weren't there, man. You weren't there. Remember Morrissey in 2008? Yeah, man.
What, the Tuesday? It was great. No, the Friday.
Oh, the
people threw
Friday.
stuff.
That was dark, man. Yeah, but like those,
poor
we
man.
we happy few. Then like, afterwards, Badil goes, you idiots. Why?
Yeah,
'Cause
to me, it strikes
What?
me. When I first heard, I thought, when someone said, oh, Russell got up because Morrissey wasn't well, I thought you'd climb through the crowd going, I'll take control, I'll do it.
Guys, we've got a situation.
Right, listen, can you play 64? Oh, well, I'm 64, OK.
Morrissey's
Here we go.
not well, but look on the bright side. When I get older, losing my hair. Come on, join in. Many years from now, there's Johnny Marr. I can get a better on my Valentine's. It was bloody ridiculous situation. Yeah, that's
dear.
why David Baddiel actually went afterwards. The only person that could have appeased that crowd would have been Johnny Marr. And it was mental. And then when Williams and Jonathan left with some security from the gig, they was attacked outside the gig. People still angry. They'd taken Williams and Jonathan, I was still inside at this point, taken them to be emblems of, it's as if Morrissey had been taken and put into a basement and told, you will perform for us this evening, Morrissey, and for no one else.
Jonathan Ross and Williams had been knocked out, and then Morrissey had to come out and go, Williams and Jonathan Ross have been killed. There'll be no more from them.
That's the end of that.
then
But to
Baddiel-
commemorate them, I'm a lady.
Then David Baddiel would have to get up and do History Today.
Yeah, I mean, that's you, that is. See
you,
that
that is.
dead beloved TV host, that's you, that is. See half of that double act. Mental, then.
You've learned an important lesson.
Yeah, that lesson
Don't
is
show off.
stay indoors. Do
Don't
not
try and
leave the
help
house.
anyone.
Or never bond with your fellow man or show any love. No, but actually, it's, in a way, good, because what I've took from it is don't be vain. Don't think, you know what I mean? Like, that's what because although some of me was thinking, hey, I can do a good deed here, I can make this better, and I love Morrissey and everything. Some of me was thinking, hey, this will make people think I'm a real pal of
Stage
Morrissey's.
with no one on it and all these people.
Let's
and me.
go. Show
Yeah.
me where to stand.
I would have just, you just got to stand there and
If
drift
you'd
off.
been there, would you have told me not to do it?
Yes, definitely. Because I would know that's the only outcome. There's no, if people have paid to come and see you, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Or they're like teenagers or something, but
What
they're
was
just
I
angry,
thinking?
drunk adults.
Angry drunk
I wouldn't have. I mean,
adults.
I haven't been to a gig like
But
that.
remember,
for a while,
Williams
but
is a professional person. Jonathan's a professional person. How come we all got swept up in our...
the worst thing about it is, right? So I went to a Tool gig, right? And I love Tool.
Yeah.
And then someone just randomly tried to beat me up, and my girlfriend at the time had to, that fight we had.
Yeah, I
Which was
remember.
emasculating. She
Very emasculating, because
broke
your
his
girlfriend
nose.
did better in the fight than you did. You, with all your Krav Maga training, were hunched in a ball, I
That's
heard.
why I was uninjured.
Saving up your aggression to when you bought an Xbox sometime later, sat in the darkness of your room, like, take that,
No, but
tall
listen.
fiends, take that, other bully boys, you bloody bullies, I'll take you down.
No, but listen.
Go on. No,
The worst
go on,
thing
I've got
is
a point to make.
because then you
It's a
think of
serious
that.
point.
Like now, when you listen to Morrissey, you'll think, "I love Morrissey. I don't like his fans."
No,
Everyone
that's
else
why I
likes
played
him.
it straight away. I thought, get back on
Cleanse
the horse,
yourself.
get straight back
I
onto the
couldn't listen
Morrissey
to Tool
pony.
for a while. I
Couldn't
thought,
you?
No.
Yeah, well, that's no
But I
great
just say
loss
I
for this
was an
bloody
absolute
show.
hero in that fight because no one got injured.
You were not an
Apart
absolute
from
hero.
him, who got his nose broken.
You sound like a gutless, hunched little coward.
No.
And not that, violence oughtn't be a way that we express ourselves. We're poets here on this show, particularly Mr. G, of course, an actual poet, rather than me, simply a show-off trying to cash in on any sore throat going at any gig. What you say? The Eagles have damaged a finger. I'm there.
Tommy Cooper's collapsed. Here I go.
Tommy, for God's sake, get off the stage. Someone drag this lifeless lump away. Here, not like that, like that. I've got a
lost the
Stradivarius. I've got a painting. Come on, Tommy. Shake a leg. Okay, listen, for God's sake, let's play some music. Right, so yeah, we've got Chrissy Iron coming up. We've got some lovely, funny emails. More of your stories about funny things Nans have said. Good it is.
What? Oh, Nans have said.
Well, what did you think I said?
I don't know. I thought you'd slipped into some sort of African language.
Well, I might do one of these days, and who could condemn me? Listen to this. This is from Sarah, for example, when we're saying about funny things Nans say, it's a nice daytime radio style item. Hi, Russell, Matt and G. I was just listening to the podcast. We were discussing funny things that grands say, says Sarah. My boyfriend's grandmother was brought up in Burma, and during the recent trouble there, she commented that you can't trust those Buddhist monks, They're not as innocent as they pretend. They'll stab you as soon as they look at you. You never know what they've got under those robes. Buddhist monks are reliable as the day is long. Love,
Slice
Sarah.
of paranoia there.
To think that the Buddhist monks are likely at any point to turn and stab you is a paranoid view, isn't it? And look at this. This is from Robin. He goes, after the tsunami that hit Thailand, my nan asked, oh, did you hear about that terrible Satsuma? Oh, you lovable nan! You lovable nan, you!
Satsuma.
More of those nan items later in the show. More of our jingle race war.
I've got an item.
You've got an item? What is
Yeah.
it?
I
You
want
ain't
someone
got
to
an item.
listen to this. I
Yeah.
want someone to explain in simple terms what
Yeah.
that rogue trader thing's about, because no one else understands.
What
it.
rogue trader
You know that
thing?
bloke, the 3.6 billion thing.
What, Nick Leeson? Ages
No,
ago?
you fool.
Was
There's
there a
another
new
one,
thing?
a worse one that Nick Leeson himself is shocked by.
It's even shocked former rogue
Yeah.
trader. It's like Peter Sutcliffe going, oh, you bloody sexist. Is it
Yeah,
like that?
It's that
oh,
bad.
No, well, this
But I
won't
just
do.
want to understand how it works.
All
So
right.
if anyone can say, like, in about 2 sentences...
Don't use our radio show as some sort of Wikipedia. Get out there
Why
and learn,
not?
lad.
It's education.
Yeah,
That's what we
fair
want. Not you talking about sex all the time.
Hey, talking about sex, I done a bit of that the other day. Whoa, I was having such nice sex, I must say. Bloody Jonathan Ross saying on his radio show, he come out bold as brass, going, oh, Russell was there with some bird, looked about 14. I was there with a girl I was helping for a charity who's 21. All right, a charity that I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a charity, all right. Poor cow. Right, text 88291 if you want to text us. You can phone us on 0500 288. As you know, we'll ignore that call. 0500 288 291, or you can email russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. We're going to listen to the excellent Flight of the Conchords now with a haunting message of and condemnation of the contemporary world. Let's have a listen to that. Then I'm going to explain everything, make everything easy for everyone. Flight of the Conchords there. What's wrong with the world today? I don't know if the bit today bit's in it. What's wrong with the world? Yeah, it's just called that. That's Flight of the Conchords. Aren't they fantastic? Don't roll your eyes at me,
Very
mate.
smooth bit of
I
broadcast.
think there might have been some swearing in that. Apologise for it if there was. Was there swearing, Matthew?
I heard the F word fly past.
Right, now, someone's done an F word. That is one of the worst things.
Well done.
Well done.
Ruined it for everyone.
Well done. Great. Been swearing. Feel cool, do you now?
Well, everyone's going to stay behind.
Because of your swearing, Flight of the Conchords, everyone's staying behind. And you're going to
Okay.
wash your mouth out with soap. That's, I think, a disproportionate response, don't you, to swearing? Which was apparently quite a commonly meted out punishment in
I
like
think it
the
happened
old
to
days.
me once.
Who done it? Who administered it? You've got a lot of half memories going on. I'm always saying things, you go, I think that happened to me once. I think there was a crow living in my wall. I think there was a man down my garden. What happened to you?
I'm sure that threat was...
Yeah, the threat was bandied about.
I think it was like right at the sink with some soap, and then...
They took you right over and showed you it like you showed them dead chicks. You showed chicks, dead chicks. I'm not
telling
using
people
chicks
that.
in the 70s way. Man didn't kill women. but I mean chicks in a literal way.
Yeah, no, I think it was like the threat got taken right to the sink and the soap was shown. And I just remember thinking...
This ain't
"That's
gonna happen."
stupid." And also, that won't not stop me
I once
swearing.
willingly ate soap of my own accord. It looks so some of the soaps are so nice. That
Yeah, but when you taste it, it's horrible.
It's really misleading, like nice smelling rubbers. You smell a nice smelling rubber, you think, well, that smells so much like strawberry, stroke chocolate, whatever it is. I'll have some. It's horrible, isn't it? Soaps, you get a lot of the same thing. Also, as a child once, I was so intrigued by a bar of soap, I think I allowed it to go part of the way up my bottom. It elicited such a screech.
You allowed it as if it had a will of its own.
Well, if you can go up there, but I tell you what, my man, you don't know what you'll find up there. One fellow's not come back yet.
I bet it was the whole matey family.
Mrs. Matey came out. She won't speak of the event anymore. She's like a widow. So she scarcely utters a word. Okay, hold on. What do I want to do? Oh, yeah, right. I'm quickly clearing up this issue. You might have read in the papers of the week about, in a show that I'd done ages ago for Six Music, that there was a pre-recorded content in a competition, right? I just want to say that I didn't know nothing about that. Matthew, you weren't on the show then. That was when it was with Carl
I know,
Pilkington.
it wouldn't have happened with me there.
Oh, of course not. No, with you, Matthew, the voice of
No
reason.
scandals with me
I suppose
here.
I would have realised that if you're doing a competition in a pre-recorded show and someone enters that competition, that it can't be a listener if the show is pre-recorded. But I just didn't really know what was going on. Those were the early days of broadcasting.
So what's your official line? You
Didn't know what was happening. That's
Right.
when, I didn't know what was happening. We would never mislead listeners on this show unless it was misleading them into a world of erotic liberty, which will ultimately lead them to sexual diseases and
we're
pain.
always honest if we do a pre-record. we
Always
admit it.
say it's a pre-record.
We never say. you know.
Always been our way, not to lie to people. Now, for example, this is live. It's actually happening.
Actually live.
This is
Wednesday
us.
night. The big night.
Wednesday. Midweek blues. Chase those midweek blues away.
Saturday.
What?
Saturday.
Oh, damn you, God. No, this is actually happening. Otherwise, how would we know the result of
And why
that
wouldn't they have-
game?
why wouldn't
Havant
they
and Waterlooville.
They
How
would
would we know
have
that?
edited that bit
5-2.
out, wouldn't they?
They would have edited that bit out. See, it's
And
all
we-
real. And look at me tapping a pen. Tap, 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 tap. And look at this. How could we
Proves
actually...
nothing.
What? Tap, tap, tap. It's proved everything. How could we actually have Wallace and Gromit's voice, last of the Summer Wine superstar, Peter Sallis, on the phone? Are you there, Mr. Sallis?
What? No cheese, Gromit?
Oh, look at that! Straight in with a catchphrase! That's the kind of
Yes,
professionalism we can only aspire to. Mr. Sallis, thank you very much for coming on our radio show. How are you today?
I'm all right. I'm better when I'm Peter.
Oh, thank you, Peter. Peter,
right.
how come you've agreed to come on our radio show? I'm always intrigued.
Well, I was advised to be risque, but not lascivious.
That's the line we constantly walk between risque and lascivious. I often...
Really? I don't know what either of them really means, but that's what they told me.
I think risque means boop boop pidoo. Lascivious means oh, you dirty little cow. I'm going to tear your tights. That's what I think lascivious. That's a pretty good example of it.
If I'd not been on this show, I would never have known that.
I don't know if that's the Webster's definition, but it's certainly a kind of shorthand. Yes, so thanks again for coming on. I was watching one of them Wallace and Gromit films the other day. I liked it. I think it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That Nick Park, he strikes me like he might be a genius. What's he like?
I thought that, I'm showing off now, but I thought that the first day I met him. There was something, I tell you what it was sort of success breathed out of him. Some people, give a glow of being this, that and the other, but Nick just struck me as being successful. I just thought, whatever this guy turns his hand to, he's going to make work.
Although he will turn his hand to it very slowly, 24 frames a second, moving
yeah.
a tiny plasticine penguin. It must be hard to watch him turning his hand to something. So incredible the amount of work goes into them things, isn't it?
Yes.
'Cause-
when we did the film, I say we, when they did the film, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, I asked at the end of it how many names were on the credits when they run the credits after the film.
Yeah.
614.
That's an incredible amount of people.
14 people took part in making The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
But those films, when you watch them, they do look like the endeavour of hundreds of people. They do look like very beautifully made, cautiously made pieces of film, pieces of work.
Yes, yes.
Quite wonderful. Last week we spoke to, what's the gentleman that made Bad Puss?
Oliver Postgate.
Oliver Postgate. Yeah, he was lovely, and you could tell with him the way that his ethos with his work was very tender and very different from like people today. And perhaps that's one of the things that makes Nick Park unique. Is he's not someone who's just thinking, right, let's churn out a movie. He's clearly sort of got a love of art and what he does, isn't he?
Yes, yes, and manipulatively, I can't say it, but I think with his hands, he's obviously terribly good. I mean, I know he doesn't do much of it now. There's a whole host of people doing the animations, but to do them in itself is a work of art. The figures are only about 6 or 7 inches high. The things that they're working with.
That's incredible. That those figures become that malleable that he makes them dance. I often wonder with people that have got that kind of dexterity if that will transfer into the act of coitus or lovemaking. I wonder if you were lucky enough to have Nick Park as a boyfriend or wife or husband or something, if he would be able to very slowly coax you into a climactic state. Peter, do you imagine that he would?
Oh, definitely.
He came with us, as it were.
Oh, yes. I mean, I personally, if I may add a personal touch, I wouldn't want to be manipulated by Mr. Park, but I can imagine it happening.
I'm imagining it happening right now. I'm imagining it. Do you reckon, do they ever do you think, saucy nude versions of Wallace?
On the quiet?
Yeah, on the quiet.
No, I wouldn't have thought. It's too hard work, I mean, they'd be so exhausted at the end of it, they wouldn't be able to manage anything.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, but because it's just for a little joke, even if it was just a short scene with Wallace perhaps involved in an unlawful act with Gromit or Lady Penelope, you just think, bloody hell, that took us 8 hours and all I feel was guilty. It's scarcely worth the investment, is it?
No, you've led me up a path that I didn't think that I was going to go. But I'm sure that I agree with you. That's the safest way out.
Thank you, Peter, for being so diplomatic. You're a wonderful gentleman. I just want to ask about Last of the Summer Wine. Now, why, right, even the first series of Last of the Summer Wine was called Last of the Summer Wine. There's been so much summer wine since then.
Yeah.
Like, that first bit of summer wine, that can't feasibly have been the last of it. There's been so much bloody summer wine.
Yes.
Decades of summer wine.
To call it infinitesimal Last of the Summer Wine would have been rather a long title. No, it's poetic, and if you don't understand what I mean by that, then I'm sorry for you.
No, I do understand it. I do, Peter. I understand that it's poetic. It's not to be taken literally. But I'm just saying, there's been an awful lot of summer wine. And also, may I inquire, in the collective memory of our country, there's a lot of episodes where you go down a hillside in a bathtub with wheels. Did that actually happen only once, and that we've all sort of collectively bought into some hysterical notion, or were you always going down the side of an hill in a bath?
No, it only seemed like it. And in fact, to be fair, the guy who went down the hill in the bath with wheels on was in fact Bill Owen. It was Compo.
Yes.
The worst mess I got into was to actually slide down a hill on a tin tray. That was when I was in my 50s, you know. Now time has moved on, and, you know, I'd have to have a cart with wheels on to go downhill.
I think it's unfair of them to expect you to go down any precipice or slope on anything other than like a car, really. I think that's vindictive and manipulative beyond anything Nick Park could imagine.
Yes, but of course, to be fair, we don't do that anymore. I mean, the number of jokes that are based upon physical things, you know, like that, like falling off a bicycle or whatever it may be, have been reduced to absolute minimum.
Yeah, because it would be horrible if there was bloodshed on the set of Last of the Summer Wine, wouldn't it?
Especially if it was mine, yes.
We don't need that,
Well,
Peter.
I don't know.
None of us.
No.
Is there any, like, do the cast and crew all get along, or is there ever any outburst, terrible egocentric tantrums where people go, look, she's got that trailer, F you! Do the people ever scream at each other, or is it quite a sort of timid place where people are well-mannered?
I wish I could provide you with the answer that you are dying for me to say, but I'm afraid, no, we are terribly well-mannered, and we do care for each other, up to a point, that is, yes. Sorry, but we don't have outbursts.
As a matter of fact, I'm glad that that's the response, because I would have found it disheartening, because you're very much an English gentleman, and it's lovely to speak to you, Peter. Thank you very much for coming on to our show. You've brought decorum and gravitas to a show that was in danger of sliding into puerility like a bath going down a hill, even if it was only once. Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye, Peter.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. There we go. Look at Matt doing a good bye. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Shut up, you put on your talking to an elderly man voice. Thank you. And we can only thank you more because you're such a lovely guy.
We can only...
kept trying to talk about sex and made him uncomfortable.
He was not uncomfortable. He was so turned on. I had it going on with Peter Sallis. What do you want? What do you want to talk to him about then? Oh, Mr. Sallis, have you played Guitar Hero? Have you spent hours locked away pretending to be Slash or Gash or Nasher or one of the boys in the Jesters of Mercy? Go on.
Malice.
You twerp. I knew you'd correct me.
No
that was a
mercy in our
test.
band.
No.
What would you call your
or
band?
talent.
What would you call your band?
I'd call it the Three Amigos. Who should never have appeared.
Ross and you.
Yeah, dear, oh dear. That musical association was the least successful since Charles Manson got involved with the Beach Boys. Never to be repeated, let me tell you. OK, so we've got some great items coming up. We've got our jingle race war. That's going to be fun. What do you say your new item is? Tell me what the hell's going on in that
Rogue
thing.
Trader thing.
Explain things to Matt, a new item.
How could it have passed you by? It's big news.
I just switch off sometimes.
The world economy's in danger.
I
You
don't care. It's all an
You could
illusion.
ride on the back of it and get a revolution out of it.
Woohoo! Revolution!
You need to know about economics, mate.
The world of economics is an illusion. I told you that. It's a transient material thing. It's just part of its nature. It undulates. It was bound to crash like the Wall Street crash, like all other crashes, like Black Wednesday, all that other stuff, load of old hogwash.
You just know the words. You don't know what it means.
Yes, I do. Yes, I know what
What
I
about
mean.
Ash Wednesday? What about Pancake Tuesday?
Yeah. What's that mean nothing to you? Did they die in vain? Did they? What about St Patrick's Day? Now listen to me, Matthew Morgan. What about you idiot? Just seconds before this show began saying, why don't we talk about something really intelligent on the show? And then what do you actually do? Just bleat on about your guitar and your
Rogue
band.
Trader thing is intelligent.
That's your intelligent thing, Rogue Traders. Is that what you've brought to the table?
Yes.
All right, well,
what
can
have
email...
you brought in intelligent? You talk to a lovely old man. What do you go? Have you ever had sex with Nora Batty? Oh, well would.
Yeah, Nora Batty, her stockings are already halfway down her legs. Try and get up her.
Only joking, mate.
Yeah, go on, mate.
She's
cheer
a
up.
real looker in her day.
No, she's probably all right, won't she, Nora? Yeah, if she takes her false teeth out, I would. Come on, mate. Yeah, I'll get involved.
What a stupid laugh.
Well, so what? It was a character laugh.
Woody Woodpecker.
Here's a new item called Clever Monkey. It's an email from Pete Thompson. I once saw a gorilla in a zoo eating an apple. The apple had a little logo sticker on it, and he took this off and stuck it on his chest. It's a clever
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
Isn't that lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely to see a
Oh, I
gorilla?
just thought he was like a little sheriff then. I'm the sheriff.
I run this zoo. Any transgressions, you'll answer to me.
Granny Smith, my name is.
I'm Sheriff Granny Smith. I'm a real pink lady. The law that I govern is gold and delicious. My laws are never...
Cruel or vicious. Chrissy Hind will be coming here later.
Gorilla's chests are like black leather.
You little pervert, you're turned on by that, aren't you? Aren't you?
No.
I bet you'd like to drag yourself along a gorilla's leathery chest, wouldn't you? I bet you'd think it was your dad. I bet you'd let it cradle you in your arms. What about when Sharon,
Oh, God.
my stylist
Oh,
and
right.
new assistant, went to... What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say because you were talking about someone being cradled like that when my dad held me under a hand dryer, which I've now said.
Yep, Matt was once held under a hand dryer because Matt used to be a magician's assistant.
Oh,
he failed. He failed. The magician goes, Matt just stood there. It meant all he was meant to do.
No, I always have to say this. I wasn't a magician's assistant. I was, we need a little boy to help with this trick. Oh, I put my
That
hand
is
up, and that's it.
assistant. Some of us take that
No,
responsibility
sounds like
seriously.
a costume, and I
Some
toured
of-
the country with him.
Some of us, when Morrissey's taken ill, boldly step up and step to the front line and absorb up the wrath.
You are an idiot.
You can't even be a magician's
You would have
assistant.
stood on the Berlin Wall going, everyone stop taking bits. Come on.
Hey, come on, come on! We're sure we can build a conservatory out of this if we all pull together. Listen, I was on the front line when you only have to do the simple job of being a magician's assistant. You stood there and wet yourself, disgracing the magic circle. The magic circle was a ring of urine emerging in your grey trousers. I think you were dressed as a page boy that day. You'd even made an effort to dress up, and your dad had to dry you under a hand dryer, scorching you a bit deliberately with the hot air of the hand dryer because he was so ashamed of your performance as a magician's assistant. Held you a bit close to the dryer. Didn't he, Clarice? Didn't he? Do you still feel the burn now on your genitals? Clarice. Yeah?
It's the only way I can get off, actually. I put a hairdryer down my trousers.
Dear old Matt, he can't go to a barber's now without getting thrown up. He covers his lap in mist. Right, OK, I've got something important to say.
Calm down, it's hard to listen to you.
Oh, right, sorry, and that's
That's
the
better.
dreadful drawback on radio. One thing you don't want to be on the wireless is hard to listen to. Hold on, I had something really important I was thinking about. What was I on
Monkey,
about?
gorilla, had a sticker on
Leathery
his
chest of a gorilla. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. Well, Sharon, new assistant,
yes.
Sharon, she went to a zoo with some of her mates, and they all got turned on by the gorilla, because it, like, they were with a couple of blokes, and the gorilla started displaying and going, and scared off the blokes that they were with. And when the blokes went, the gorilla calmed down and looked all tender again. Sharon said she wanted to marry it, and was all turned on by it. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Well, I don't know.
It is, mate.
I can sort of see, that...
What, when we condemn Paul
They're
McKenna
not saying they
outright,
fancied the gorilla, are they? They're saying that
they respected its alpha male potency.
it's authority.
Yeah, well, what's it going to do? It can't get a job, can it? A gorilla is impressed
Don't
when it's
feel
a sheriff.
competitive with it.
Well,
I bet
what's
you
the-
when she told you that story, you were thinking, yeah, so?
Bloody gorillas.
It's an idiot.
Here, I can stick apple stickers on my chest, you know. Look at my nipples. I've got pink lady on this one. Milk, lemonade, round the corner chocolate's made. Hey, can a gorilla do that? Can a gorilla do this?
The thing is, with a gorilla, they look great when they're sitting down, but when they
Yeah.
stand up, they've only got
Idiots.
little legs.
You got little legs and a little tiny willy.
Look at me, I'm brilliant. Someone had the gall to send me a penis extension kit the other day. Some company, I can't remember the name of them, and I'm glad of it because they sent it as a promotional aid. It was scary. It was all gift wrapped and that. The agency brought it around. E.O. Russell mentioned this on your show. We know you're a ladies' man, but
Russell, if you buy something like that, admit it. Be a man.
I am a man. I've got a lovely set down there. The Crown Jewels, the Brand Family Jewels.
Well, why
nothing
are
wrong
you trying
down
to
there.
extend them?
I don't want to extend
Why are
them.
you so worried about the size of your willy?
It's a beautiful thing. I don't want that extend. I've not used it. It's terrifying. It looks like, I tell you what it looks like, calipers for your willy.
No, it doesn't.
Matthew, honestly, it's
Well,
got
it's
little...
a pump in it. It goes...
It's not like that, no. It's like got a sort of... you know when you see fake bone, say you're in an orthodontist or a back place or something, and they've got a fake skeleton made out of that white bone-looking stuff.
Yeah.
Right, there's a bit of it looks like that white bone, a loop of that, then loads of little metal bits. It looks terrifying, like you're going to... How would you ever
You're
make
not going to use that.
Matthew, it was a proper kit, and it was in a sort of like the sort of thing that you'd get some scales in, you know, like some scales for weighing drugs in the old days.
Yeah.
It's like that in a
sure
velvety
it's
little
a-
box.
You sure that's what it's for?
There was information, there was a letter and everything that goes, oh, God, extend it, tell us of the results. My Willie's lovely, mate. Well, you've seen it, it's in Great Nick, little
Oh, I
guy.
don't know.
He's lovely, they've got
A
lovely...
bit sad at the end.
Nonsense, that's his triumphant peak there. That's where he greets the world with his announcements.
Oh, you poor baffled man getting sent that and going, what is this? What does it mean? What do you want from me?
Yeah, it looked like something you'd find in Greenwich Observatory. It's odd, it was.
Well,
It was like
send it
some-
round and I'll have a look at it.
What about, Joe? Yeah, we used to have that fake vagina, didn't we? The poor thing passed around like a Brazilian rent boy. Poor little sod.
I bravely used it to tell you what it was like.
Yeah,
then you
brave.
said, send it round my house in a cab. I can't do that.
We did send it in
I
a
put a
cab.
cigarette in it, send it round.
Hello there. Mr. Brander's delivery for you. Who is it? Oh, some poor old... That was how we'd do that joke in real life. So, what's my other thing I want to go on about? Oh, yeah, I was about to condemn you. Right, blessedly...
Please stop condemning me.
All right, we won't
I
condemn
live in
you.
my room playing a computer game to stop me going out and drinking and going mental all the time.
Write our film. Get on with it, you bloody
that's your
layabout.
film.
My film from
Film
my
about
book.
your life, which I've been edited out of.
You've not been edited out
My
of.
name's changed to something like Leroy.
You're called Mickey Tits. Yeah, you're a great character.
I've been reduced to the status of like furniture.
No, you've got a good part.
Oh, you're good, you
Yeah,
are.
you get to play the shepherd. The shepherd's the best part. Without the shepherd, Jesus would have no one to worship him. What would he do? Come on, don't complain about your part. It's good. It's a double act film. I've just condensed through necessity in one character.
Double act film that I'm not in, and
You're
my
in it.
name's not even in it.
Yeah, but my name might change. I might change myself
I
to
hope it does.
Dirk Slazenger or something. Make myself a bit more glam.
Well, then people might go and see it.
Oh, spiteful. Well, it's a Michael Winterbottom film and he's a great director.
You throwing his name about. I don't like the word Winterbottom.
Why? What's wrong with it?
Makes me think that if he pulled his pants down, his bum would be 2 snow globes.
Oh, I like the idea of
Doesn't
that.
make you think that?
Makes me think of Narnia, but Mr. Tumnus dancing around an arse crack, and I like it. I like the
Really?
image. Yeah, or the
Winterbottom.
Ice Queen on a sleigh going down a beautiful sort
her
of
bum?
ice arse. Yeah.
She wouldn't do that.
Of course she wouldn't.
She's
too
a
much
noble
dignity.
woman.
She'd lose the respect of the court if she did that, wouldn't she? I'd say.
I was scared of her 'cause she could turn you to stone, which was a childhood fear of mine.
Where did you ever think you get turned to stone? Why would anyone
it's
do that?
prevalent, isn't it? In
People don't want
children's stories.
Perhaps that's where your hypochondria comes from. What about this week when there was a scare, blessedly, around our friend's
Did you
baby?
take those antibiotics?
No, I didn't take those antibiotics.
I've been on them.
You idiot!
I got fooled into it.
absolute
Do you know what
idiot.
happens to you when you take it?
He looks all confused. One of our friends, Nicola,
He
who we
was there
love,
as well, so
I know,
he should
I
have
know.
known about
He's
it.
all right. We're all right. What? Who's on the phone? Dale Winton's on the phone. Right.
Dale? Oh,
Dale. Oh, Chip and Dale. Rescue Rangers. Right, okay, what we're going to do now is our new item, well, not my new item, Gay, but it's a special item because we've got the brilliant Dale Winton, but we're going to talk about Matt's hypochondria just in a little minute. Dale, are you there, sir?
Hello, Russell. Good evening.
Ah, Dale Winton, to have you in my ear roll is a very great pleasure. Thank you for coming on the show. How are you today?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
I feel very upbeat. I've drunk a bit too much caffeine. I'm showing off a little bit. I'm fresh from a bruising encounter with Morrissey fans. I feel on top of my game. Are you all right?
I'm all right, and I'm a bit envious of you tonight because I love Chrissy Hine, and you've got her on the show, haven't you?
She's going to be in here in a minute, and we're doing Islands in the Stream, so that's going to be really lovely.
She's wonderful. I love that voice.
Yeah, it's beautiful and sexy, isn't it, her voice?
She's actually a very, can I say, sort of like horny bird?
You can say that, Dale, but no one will believe you because we know what you get up to, you saucy sod. Now, Dale, you're very close friends with Walliams. Have you ever transgressed? Have you got any information that's obvious to all of us, but we've never had confirmation?
No, funnily enough, listening to your show earlier, I heard you mentioning David, of course, quite a lot tonight.
Yeah.
And I spend my entire life, people, because we are really close friends, and I spend my entire life, people going, is he?
Is he?
Can I
Is he?
categorically say, to my knowledge,
Yes.
straight as they come?
Because I suppose if he was, how would he keep his hands off you, you bronzed sod? You know, like me.
You flatter me, sir.
Well, no, I mean, I would do it. But he just does stuff that you do think sometimes. Come on, he is a little bit, isn't he? you know, the way he carries on. But I suppose with you, perhaps, I think like what David likes to do, I'm quite sort of camp and feminine, so I think what David likes to do is up the femininity and campness in my company. But I think in the company of a genuine, actual gay man, he might feel threatened.
No, but I'll tell you what it is. Russell. You find the ones that are really borderline, you're never sure about, are the ones that protest too much. The ones that actually go along with the camp and the gay are the ones that actually are so comfortable in their own being that they're not at all gay. In fact, I watched you doing a fabulous program on satellite years ago, and it was all about sex. Do you remember that?
Yes, it's where I manually stimulated to the point of orgasm a gentleman in a lavatory in a gay bar in Soho.
I still have it on my TiVo.
That's the spirit. I've still got it staining my soul, Dale. It was an incredible piece of broadcasting, though, I must say.
Actually, anybody that hasn't seen it, it is fabulous.
Yeah, look on YouTube under Rebrand. I believe the episode was called Wanky Wanky. Sorry for swearing, but that is the name of the show. So, yeah, have a look at that. That was all entertaining fun. I believe that was your idea, wasn't it, Matt, for me to do that?
Yes, it was.
Great idea, along there with Get Circumcised and Eat the
laughed
Foreskin.
and laughed.
You disgusting man, scarred me for a little while, but still I'm all right now. Now, Dale, I'm sure you're aware, or possibly not, that we have an item on our show called Gay, right? And where we help people with problems related to, or issues, in fact, related to homosexuality. We would like you to help. Will you?
Absolutely.
Right, OK, well, there is a jingle because this is a professional radio show, and here we go. Here is the jingle. Gay! Hello and welcome to my regular item, Gay. It's a very special week on Gay now because we got Dale Winton. Hello, Dale.
Hello, Russ.
Hello there. Here is a problem sent in by someone called Madeline. Here is the problem. I'm going to read it out. It's a young lady called Madeline Grimm, and here it is. Hello, Russell, Matt and G. She doesn't say Dale because at this point she didn't know that you would be the host, but I'm sure she'd be bloody thrilled if she knew that you were. I'll just read you the problem, Dale. My name is Madeline and I'm 17. I live in America. I'm going to be moving to London to go to art school in August, and I have a roommate who lives there whom I've been talking to for about a year. I think I'm gay, or at least bisexual. Go the whole hog, woman! How can I, or do I tell her? I'm terrified of being rejected, but I don't want not to tell her. I think it would make it awkward if she found out. Please help me. Love always, Madeline Grimm. So she's worried about coming out and coming on to her new roommate. What do you think, Dale? What should Madeline do?
Well, I'm a bit confused because has she met the roommate or not?
I don't think so, but she seems pretty keen to get involved, doesn't she?
It all seems a bit too rushed to me.
Don't rush, Madeline.
And also, if she's coming, you know, London is so great in terms of if you want to be in touch with your sexuality, that if the roommate is not cool about it, she'll meet someone else very quick, won't she, in London? So she should just maybe not say anything till she gets there, and if it's a problem, she could find somewhere else.
Find somewhere else, find someone else. There's that good lesbian bar in Soho called Lipstick Lounge. Candy Box. Matthew, you knew, didn't you? Offering round there. That was a little test. Matt there from the Jesters of Mercy, hanging around lesbian bars. So, yeah. OK, so she should, don't rush it. That's pretty good advice, I think. But, yeah, I think if people are going, I'm worried that I might be gay, get out there and be a bloody gay. Go on, go mad, do some gayness, then find out. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's not like I'm worried, like them people that go, I think I'd like to have my leg amputated, and then they do it, and they go, oh no, I realise now I needed that leg to walk about on. You know, just be gay, then be ungay, go crazy, have a wild and crazy ride with it. Right?
I think more people actually experiment on the QT when they don't tell their significant others if they're in a straight relationship, and they find out privately if they like it or not. I think this happens all the time.
Dale, do you mean to suggest that you've had it off with married men in a gay way, and I'm thinking Richard out of Richard and Judy?
No, he's not masculine enough for me.
Well, you go for proper butch fellas like myself, then.
Yeah, absolutely. What?
Right, big butch burly fellas. Go on, give us an example of a nice big butch burly fella that you'd be into.
Who would I be into? I'm just trying to think who. I'll tell you who I think's very cute. Peter Andre.
Peter on? He's not big butch, but I mean, he's got a big
butch.
buff body, but he's like all gentle, isn't he? He's a lovely man, actually.
I suppose I don't know really. I like that sort of like shaved head goatee type.
Okay, you might like Mr. G. He's got a shaved head and a moustache, and there's a little bit of... Look at it, hold on a minute, he's just taking his trousers down. He's the poet for this show, so yeah, he might be of interest to you. Because this is items going to say, well, will you do another gay problem for us, Dale? Dale?
Yes.
This is another letter. This is from Emma. Hello. I always listen to your podcast, which cheers me up and reminds me of home, as I live in the UAE. That must be the United Arab Emirates. Unless it's... Anyway, this could go into two parts of your programme. To give you some background, my nanny's a 90-year-old Christian who played the organ in church for 30 years, dirty cow. She now lives in a nursing home, and my mum recently visited her and said, "Can you pass me that homosexual?" My mum just looked at her strangely and she answered, "I don't know why I said that. It's not what I was thinking. If you set aside... What the hell is this? If you set aside a certain part of your day to think about gay people. That doesn't make sense as a problem.
You should read them before you pick them up.
No way. I like to be spontaneous.
You've wasted Dale's time.
Dale, I'm sorry
No, I
to...
lost the will to live on that one. I didn't quite understand it.
Dale, for God's sake, don't give in to
I'll
just
tell you what,
because
I
of one
thought about
bad
who my
email.
perfect man would be.
Who is it?
Ray Winston.
Right, I knew
Really?
it. Ray Winston. Big, bluff Ray Winston.
Yeah,
Hello,
he'd be
Dale.
perfect.
Right, Dale, would you like to come out with me? We'll perhaps take in a show. We'll go see Billy Elliot and I'll drag you home, knock you about, crash your back doors in. How's that sound?
I suppose, yeah, that'd be nice,
I'm
I
going to
suppose.
have to sit down now.
Oh, crikey, just check Ray ain't behind you. What I think, Dale, is that you'd feel very safe in Ray Winston's loving arms, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, I can see that. Like that, I could. Yeah, I've often contemplated that thing. It's just like when I did manually stimulate a man to the point of orgasm in a toilet, I didn't much like the feeling of touching his willy. But had it been a really, really good-looking man, such as yourself or David Beckham or even Peter Andre, perhaps it would have been nicer. It's just I only really like my willy.
Yeah, but the trouble is, and apparently it's a very nice one from what I hear.
It's in really good nick. It's lovely. I
But
can't speak highly enough
It's
of
the
it.
environment you did it in which was very off-putting.
That's true. I mean, I'm always doing heterosexual sex in those kind of environments, and I managed to pull that off. But it was just that added obstacle of there being another willy in the room. Really,
I've got to
really
ask
threw
you
me.
something, Russell.
Yes, Dale.
Girls, absolutely swoon at you. I know that. I know about 4 girls that absolutely think you are
Don't tell
sex
him
on
this.
legs.
Sex on legs,
Are
man.
you aware? And what is it about you, do you think, that gets them? Because I know that they follow you everywhere. What is it you've got, do you think?
It's a good question, Dale, and I'm very glad you've asked. It gives me an opportunity to boast like a madman. I think it's a certain sensitivity and an appreciation of beauty. I see beauty in all people. What Matt? Why are you sneering?
Shut
My co-host
up.
Matt sneering.
You
What are
see
you
him
sneering
shouting
at?
at his PA, appreciating beauty.
I appreciate beauty. Only way here I was appreciating some beauty. Of course I was. The cab driver, I was lovely to him.
What
Beauty.
does Matt look like? He sounds great.
Matt is actually very attractive. He's got a lovely bit of stubble. He's quite rugged.
Very masculine.
Lovely long hair. He's an absolute brute. He was once a magician's assistant and weed himself on stage, so he's not afraid to be humiliated or of water sports.
I'm experimental.
It's very experimental, so with
Well, why
emphasis
the
on the
heck
mental.
didn't you invite me into the studio? I said to Nick,
Come.
your producer, I said, I'll come and do the show live if you want.
Come
he
now.
said, no, prefer it on the phone.
Well, I think why that is, I think why that is, Dale, is we have more control of people if they're on the phone. Say it all goes dreadfully wrong, then it's like, oh, we don't have to
Okay.
put the phone down. But you're brilliant, so you can come whenever you like. You'd be very welcome here, Dale. You make me feel warm, comfortable, cosy, and yes, I admit it, a bit gay. So, like, if you ever want to come here, come here.
Well, I promise I
Come
will.
here now if you want. Chrissy Hines going to be in a minute. I don't know where you live, but you're welcome to come here now if
No,
you
I
feel
can't
like it.
tonight now, but I
Right.
would come another night.
Now we're getting to the truth. No, there's the real Dale Winton there. There he is. Supermarket sweep. He don't give a monkeys. There it is. Dale, thank you so much for coming on our show. The only reason we're going is because there's some show that has to come on. It's called The News, where they tell you about stuff that's recently occurred.
Oh, well, darling, have a wonderful weekend.
You too, Dale. Thank you so much for coming on our show. You've been a lovely
You're
guest.
welcome.
Thanks for your help.
Bye,
There's Dale
Dale.
Winton.
Bye. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, now, stuff's been going on our dirty little circle, and that's nothing to do with Dale. Well, that wasn't a back reference. What I'm saying is the world. That's what I meant. Hello. No, sorry. What are you and G doing? Dicking around while I was talking to Dale?
We were laughing.
Don't muck about!
When you talk to a very camp man, do you
BBC
get more camp? I
Don't
do.
try and change something. Yeah, I do get more camp because I like to try and I think, I hope he likes me. I want him to love
You're
me.
so stupid.
I am a bit stupid.
That's not why I do it.
Yes, it is. You do it 'cause you want a boyfriend. Right, here's the last fact
infectious.
before we go to the news. Matt's gay. This is BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. Here is some news. Bloody old news. That was Witchcraft, Lady Winter. Matt Morgan's choice, obviously.
Don't
bloody
try and
freak.
blame that on me.
I'm not distancing myself from it. Now, Chrissy Hind is here. I've just met up with her briefly in the outside area. The chemistry between us is still what I can only describe as potent. A very magnetic force exists between me and Chrissy Hind. Later, we will be expressing that chemistry and love through the medium of the great Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers song, Islands in the Stream. It's always been a hit of mine, but has become
A
particularly...
hit of yours?
Oh, yeah. Well, I just mean, you know, all of us remember that Christmas where I released Islands in the Stream. I've become fonder of it since that karaoke night where Chrissy was drunkenly badgering me into singing it. But I thought, I can't do it, I can't take it. Matt, have you seen the people around the karaoke? Paul and Pete.
Peter and Paul.
Peter and Paul.
Fly away, Peter.
Fly away, Paul. Right, they're a couple of chancers, and have you seen the way they turned up here, hour late? They've been drifting about. They're odd. I goes to Nick, where are they? Because Chris is here. They've gone for a fag. Peter and Paul, the karaoke men, they're jokers. God. They're a couple of right charlatans, I tell you. We'll get them in here. We'll bloody well judge them before we kick off with Chrissy doing this thing. Right, what's this I was going to say? Oh, yeah, right.
Have you checked that they've got Islands in the Stream in their machine?
No, I've not spoke to one. How can you deal with them? You see, they're not a couple of nutcases. One of them's like a big, skinhead, terrifying baby. The other one, shifty-eyed, looks like he's got a shiv in his back pocket. They look like they've been let out of prison half hour ago. Come round here to stab us over a karaoke machine. Never seen the like. I can't wait to get them in here, give them the grill in their life. Nick, the old vicar's son, looks a bit worried. Why don't you go become a chaplain in their church instead of disgracing your father with your career in media, you secret Muslim? We've got an email here. It's from Louise in Cambridge. My nan can't bring herself to say the word vegetarian, so refers to me as one of those in the appropriate context. She's one of those. Should Sharon be your new assistant? Says Peter Binns. Nice name. As she seems to be yet another in a long line of assistants. Sharon will be safe. Sharon's been a friend for many a long year. What?
Because if it's someone, because they've got to do such a difficult job, it will strain the friendship.
Yeah, but I love her, so it'd be all right, don't you think?
Yeah, but then isn't that love going to turn into scary love and manipulation?
Manipulative love, the kind of love I use to get people to work harder. This is from Becky on the fan site forum. She says, French police last night searched Paris headquarters of Soc Gen, as well as scouring Kerviel's Paris flat. The trader is alleged to be responsible for losing the bank... What?
This is my
4.9 billion. Yeah, this
exactly.
is Matt's new item. Learn about some boring financial economic illusion that don't mean nothing
stupid.
Anyway. I know that the world of economics is what governs. Economics. I know the word of Orinoco.
You've got knowledge.
Out of all the Wombles, I like Economico, Orico, and Uncle Bulgarian. They're all powerful men. Look, what I'm saying is, it's all a load of balderdash. None of it really exists.
Yes, but if you understand it, then you could bring down.
I know the miracle of consumer capitalism is what holds the world
together. What do you think
together.
your revolution's going to run on?
Beans and love. That's what, mate.
Magic beans.
Magic beans. Magic. Yeah? A bit of nous. That's what the revolution... Nous, mate. Pizzazz. Elbow grease. Common sense. Yeah? That's what I say to you, you hater.
You couldn't tame a crowd at a gig.
Whoa.
What are you going to do with a country?
Hey, don't hate the player. Hate the game. Yeah? Don't hate the player, hate the game, mate. That's what I will say to you. It's the bloody game.
Before you wreck yourself, Brand.
Yeah, witness the fitness.
Yeah.
Witness the fitness. Witness it. Right, but it's complicated, that economic thing. I just saw another thing.
I did actually ask if someone could explain it in 2 sentences.
You
not
can't.
telling us they
too many sentences. Too many sentences.
Thank you anyway.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. This is from Chris. My friends and I are playing Guitar Hero now. Our band is called Kinky John. That's from Chris.
Excellent.
Matt would get on well with you couple of nerds. This is from Ricardo. If my nan thinks she can smell someone's blow off, she says, "Who's let Billy out of prison?" What a lovely nan. What a lovely... Billy. I like that then. So while you're holding a back flatulence, that is Billy still very much in prison, much like Rose West in my new item, Rose West. My new item, Rose West.
Rose West.
Westy, you put us to the testy with your liberal attitude to sex and murder. Monster Munch reads the headline in today's Sun. Greedy... This is quite funny. Here at the bloody karaoke... chances of amble back in, stinking of fags and booze. Look at them. Just come in, one of them's gone up to Chrissy Hines. Get your hands off Chrissy Hines, you nicotine-stained lag. Look at him. Oh, they're mental. We'll get them in here, we'll grill them. Greedy Rose West gobbles 2 bowls in jail. Gobbles, she does. Bloated... This is by Gary O'Shea in today's Sun. Bloated monster, Rose West. Bloated monster. She's not even just a normal monster, but a monster that's really let itself go. Bloated monster, Rose West, prepares to tuck into 2 bowls of prison grub. There's a photograph of her doing just that. That might be just the 2 courses. Might not be like she's scoffing 2 bowls of chili con carne. The House of Horrors killer, who was ballooned to around 18 stone, looks delighted with her feast. In the first quality photos... It's not a feast. It looks like horrible... sort of gruel. They don't look very pleasant. But West, 54, appeared more miserable as she loafed around the exercise yard. It's using really pejorative language to condemn her for mundane and banal acts like eating food and walking. Loafed around, slagged off. Then she just squatted out a poop in a toilet, laughed to herself at the stink. That's just doing innocuous, functional Maslow's pyramid of needs functions. Eating, moving about. Then she reclined on her bed without a care in the world. And what's it say here? Our insider says, Rosie has really let herself go. Not Rosie, they've not speaking to her in an affectionate way. Rose has really let... Rosie, God bless her, I mean, you know, we all make mistakes. Rose has really let herself go. She gets fatter by the day. Pretty soon she will be as big as her house. God knows what kind of horrors would be in that house. Who's that buried in your feet, Rose? Oh, Christ. Our insider... Well, then what does it go on to say? The killer was given a cream and demands massages from medical wing staff for a painful condition. She now walks with a limp, but still manages without a crutch. What kind of limp is that? For God's sake, woman! After leaving the jail canteen, West squirrels the meals up to her cell. I'm taking them to my cell.
They're not allowed to eat in their cells, surely.
I tell you what, they're laughing at us in Nick, aren't they?
They've got it so
They're having
easy.
a lovely time squirreling
in your
things
cell?
up. Oh, what a joy. What wouldn't I give to be in my cell eating filthy, stinking, hateful food? Squirreled it. It's like, I really like that. You can make anything sound negative with language.
You can't squirrel stuff away if you're really fat. So they've said she's like the size of a house.
Yes, imagine a big fat bloated squirrel trying to huff and puff its way up a tree. It'd be a preposterous sight. Oh, blimey, I've got to have these here called... It was ridiculous. It could never happen. Look at this bit there. She was recently moved to a 4-star B wing where inmates have much greater freedom. 4-star? I doubt it. 4-star means it's got to have its own
Michelin
pool.
have gone in and rated prisons.
Well, if you stay in one prison this year, make sure it's Broadmoor. The facilities are absolutely fantastic.
There's some building work going on outside. I couldn't sleep.
I saw one cockroach in my room. Well, thanks a lot.
Then it says, and staff are sick of her because she behaves like a spoiled child. She's considerably worse than a spoiled child. Oh, you spoiled brat. That's 11 people you've murdered now. When will you learn? Rose needs to realise she'll be there till she dies, so she better make an effort to get on with people. Yeah, realise it, Rose West. No point in hating people.
So basically, they got some photos of her in prison and went, right, she's got 2 bowls in her hands, let's say she's greedy.
Greedy goblin squirrel. She's a greedy goblin squirrel. Right, oh, there she is in an exercise yard, loafing about. Why isn't she walking briskly in the exercise? Because if she was walking briskly, they'd say, look at her, guiltily striding about the yard, probably pacing out a grave. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's nothing she could do that wouldn't be...
Power of language, eh?
The power of language, Matt. A power we have long wielded, perhaps not always responsibly. Right, so why don't we now get bloody Chrissy Hind in here, stick on one of her records, ain't you got no pretenders
But
or
sometimes
thank?
people find that rude, don't they?
What, if you put one of their records?
Yeah.
Let's look at her face.
Because then they've got to
She
go...
said no. Why? Get her in there. Chrissy, come in, love.
Because they've got to sit there all the way through their own song.
So what? That's
Might
to
make
sing
them
it.
on edge.
I like listening to my stand-up. I just nod patiently till it ends, thinking this is brilliant, this bit, this is good. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chrissy Hind. Woo! Yeah, Chrissy Hind. Chrissy, talk in that microphone. Bring it nearer to me if you want, my love. If you want
Normally
proximity,
you have
you'll
to be
get it.
pretty drunk to do this karaoke.
Do you?
If you're good with it, I am.
Don't get drunk. Chrissy, I will say that when we met in that vegetarian restaurant, he goes, hey, what shall I bring to the show? And, like, listed out a big load of substances, as if you were some sort of pharmacist.
No, I
Didn't you?
did not.
No, you didn't. I just made that up. Now, what the bloody hell are you up to, Paul or Peter, whoever the hell you are? Use Matt's mic, crane in, and start explaining yourself. Why were you in out? This is the karaoke expert,
Hi
Chrissy.
guys,
Okay.
I'm putting on one of these shows for these two up here. I'm having a good laugh at it as well.
You can't even talk properly. Come back. What are you on about?
Have you ever done karaoke?
I've never done karaoke.
I'm more concerned whether it's going to work or not.
Well, so am I, you bloody charlatan. You're an hour late. What were you doing? Chrissy, have you ever... You've done karaoke?
Oh, yeah. I discovered the beauty of karaoke in Antwerp.
Oh, really? Why? What happened in Antwerp?
Well, I knew I would
did
know
karaoke.
anyone there for a start.
Right,
But
so...
the thing with karaoke is no one pays attention to you.
Yeah, no
You
one's
could
listening.
be Al Green or Martha Reeves, anyone you want, and everyone else is, just...
Well, I don't think that's the case. People focus, don't they, on karaoke?
No.
They just ignore it.
No, absolutely ignore it. You can do anything you want.
Well, not on bloody Radio 2, you can't. We've
Oh,
got
okay.
to
Well,
concentrate.
Let's find out.
Put
shall we?
them on your ear holes then.
Well, you're not wearing any.
Yes, I am. Look, I just
You've
wear
only
them
got one
everywhere.
on.
Yeah, no, but well, you do that. That's why I only wear one headphone because that's what I've seen on Band-Aid videos. I think, look at Paul Young, he's got one ear.
I'm not doing that.
You're not doing it. You're putting on both ears.
Do I need it at all?
You can do what you like. You're Chrissy Hines. Who's arguing?
Let's go.
Oh Christ!
Okay,
Start it again,
no.
Paul. You idiot.
You can tell it's live, guys.
Well, yeah. Thank
Wait,
God
which-
we've got evidence of
which-
that.
Do we know who's who?
Oh yeah. How do we
I
know?
think boys are blue.
Boys are
Okay, you
blue,
go
women are
first.
pink. Okay.
Come on,
Baby. Hold on.
Go,
that's
go,
the,
go.
hold on. Okay, hold on.
we'll change. Now,
Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown.
Ouch.
flat.
I set out to get you with a
are
fine
rough.
tooth comb. I was soft inside. There was something going on.
Ooh.
You're bloody Chrissy Hines. Tell us a joke. Go on.
But you don't know something to me I can't explain.
Oh, you are quite
Hold me closer and feel no pain. Am I supposed to be Dolly Parton? She sings real
good. Do
high.
you bloody well? You're Chrissy Hines.
We got something going on. Tender love is blind. It requires a
That's not lit
dedication.
up yet. Tender love is blind. It requires a dedication. All this love we feel needs no conversation. We ride it together. Making love with each other. She's looking at me. Islands in the stream. That is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Get more
Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other.
From one lover to another. Right, this bit's you. Look, it's pink.
I could
Right, go on, Chrissy.
live without you if the love was gone. Everything is nothing if you got no one. And you did walk in that night, you're slowly losing sight of the real thing.
I'm glad we didn't do this in front of Elton John, but that won't happen to us. I don't know this bit of the song. It's difficult because this has got a complex song.
And we got no way out. It's you.
Well, I don't know that bit of the record. It's real thing. I mean, like, it's, you know, that, I don't remember that being in the song.
No more will you cry, baby. I will hurt you never. I'm making up the melody, and we start and end as I in love forever. Go.
Ride it together. Making love with each other. Islands in the stream. That is what we are.
Wait for the thing to come up.
No one in between.
How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. I'm trying to find a harmony, but you
Yeah,
keep
well-
finding my part.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Chrissy. Guess what? I ain't in the Pretenders.
Sail away.
I ain't been in a band before. Also, this ain't how I remember Islands of the Stream.
Your part.
Okay. Well, this bit I think is too high.
Okay.
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong? Sail away with me to another world, and we rely on each other. From one lover to another. Right, so I think
What's happening?
Islands in the stream, that is what we are. No one in between. How can we be wrong?
We could get a deal doing it.
Sail away with me
I needed
to another world, and we rely on each other. Bloody good job we don't have to rely on each other, Chrissy. We'll be in an awful lot of financial trouble. From one love.
I think you can cover me at this point.
Right, there we go. There we go, Islands in the Stream. I think that sailed by pretty seamlessly. That was, well, Chrissy, give us a kiss. You beautiful
rubbish.
woman. Yeah, well, it's not my bleeding job. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're a bloody
You
singer.
asked me on a show
Yeah.
and humiliate me, and I should be ashamed
Listen,
of
I think
myself.
you're absolutely fantastic. To tell you the truth, perhaps that's the sort of thing that would have benefited from a rehearsal. But let me tell you, Chrissy, you are absolutely
I
magnificent.
don't think we could have done it any better.
Nor do I, and I don't think we
Having
should
heard you
aspire
sing
to.
tonight-
Hey, listen, have you not heard my hit single When I'm 64? Because I think it would blow your mind. Have a little listen to this. Have you got it, Matthew?
It's not in there at the moment.
Well, I'm capable of greatness. Anyone will tell you that who's heard my Sgt. Pepper cover
Or
when
who's
I'm
listened
64.
to your show.
Well, they might dispute that quite fervidly. But anyway, for God's sake, karaoke, you told me
think
that it's
you're
all in the
both
spirit of fun, right?
Both brilliant.
Yeah, come on, why is there an inquest?
Why's the band splitting up?
Hey, come on! I remember when it used to be about the
let's do
music,
it.
Chrissy.
Let's try
This
another
band's
one.
falling
Let's
apart.
try another
I ain't
one.
doing no more bleeding karaoke. It's hard work. I don't
It's
like
nice
doing
coming
things-
down here on my evening off.
Look, we can have a chat and stuff. You do bloody singing, I'll do jokes. It seems to be a perfect relationship, right? No?
Okay. What do
So
you want to
they-
hear?
I don't know. Yeah, do so. Well, we've got Brass in Pocket. I bet you ain't got that on your bloody karaoke
come
machine.
on,
Well, do something. I don't know. Something that everyone knows.
I've
It's
done
radio
brass
too.
in pocket on karaoke at weddings. It's
Right, really?
it's not something you want to wake up and think about.
Well, I'd be happy to go to sleep thinking about it. I'd like to be awoken in the middle of the night thinking about it. I've got no problem with that at all. What do you want to do then?
I don't know. What else is there?
Well-
Is this the list?
No,
No,
this is
that's
that's
the
the list
songs.
of our songs, as a matter of fact.
They'll have all the karaoke classics.
Yeah, it'll have a karaoke
Well, have it in a-
classic. Do
What's-
a karaoke
another
classic,
great
Chrissy.
duet.
I don't want to do a duet, right? Because I think it's hard. You have this timing. You have to
You
like.
were great. Why are you beating yourself up?
Listen, you're not managing our
Elton John
band no
and
more.
Kiki D. That's how I see you two.
Very much Elton and Kiki. Look,
Or-
here are, Chrissy.
or
Look, here's a
Dollar.
list of things.
Dollar.
There you are, darling. Look, there you are.
Find a duet.
Yeah, I'm not doing the duet. Stop putting me in this position. I've already been dragged through one bloody duet with a professional singer.
Sing one on your own.
Last night, I had to go announce that Morrissey weren't coming back on stage. Are you aware of that? That I've been through
Why
that?
didn't he?
His throat sort of went terribly wrong on the stage, and me, David Walliams, and Jonathan Ross, out of what can only be described as the goodness of our heart and the hugeness of our egos, went on stage to make the announcement that he was unwell. It didn't go down very well with
didn't
the
come on
crowd.
at all?
He came on, did 3 numbers, his voice fell over, and then he went off. And then we went on to do the announcement. Look, unfortunately, Morrissey's not going to be able to continue. We were very nearly murdered as a result. They were nearly lynched, David and Jonathan, on the way out. They had to be protected by security, bundled in the car. Never seen anything like it since the Guildford 4. It's bloody ridiculous. So,
Let's talk that fast.
sometimes when I'm under pressure. So, like, all in all, the last thing I need now is another high pressure situation, because I can't to sing something that, will take a lot of heat off of me, give me time to compose myself, find a nice funny anecdote from the
You
news.
find a song there, then.
Okay, well, what would I like to hear Chrissy sing? I'd like to hear you sing something called Beautiful and Tortured. As a
Baby
ma-
by Carla Thomas. That's a great karaoke number.
Go on
That
then.
one? Have you got that?
Yeah, of course, yes.
Baby.
Did you see? What did you just say, or did you see it on the thing?
Baby. No, I didn't see it. I'm just saying it's a good karaoke number.
Okay, well, you've now handed over control of our bloody radio show to this ex-con, Paul, who, frankly, I wouldn't trust to feed my cat, although I do love my cat quite a lot, and it's not as, I suppose this is less consequential. Have you got that, Paul? Or-
Baby by Carla Thomas.
have you got it? He's searching for that
That's
now.
not a duet. Come on.
No, I don't want to do a bloody duet. I've done one duet. How
Why
many
don't you have a little chat for a bit?
Yeah, okay, let's do a nice
We're still on the radio.
Yeah, this is a radio show that's happening now,
Well, it was
Chrissy.
nice seeing you at
Go-
Eating 2 Veg again.
Yeah, I know.
Am
I
I
like
on
it.
my mic and you're on your mic?
Yeah, that's it. You go there.
See, I thought you'd ask me about my ZZ Top T-shirt, and I could tell you how
Go on.
I know they're personal friends of mine.
They're personal friends of yours,
Yeah.
ZZ Top. Are they? What, they gave you a T-shirt to commemorate that friendship?
Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
No, it's swag. I bought it.
You what? You bought it?
Yeah.
Well, then you've just led me down a difficult...
Okay, well, what do you
avenue.
want to talk about?
Well, frankly, Chrissy, I'd like to talk about vegetarianism. You're a very
Let's go
passionate
for it.
vegetarian.
I just started a vegetarian restaurant in my hometown of Akron, Ohio.
Do you think that this vegetarian restaurant would triumph? Because are you like...
It's doing really well, and it's vegan.
What, are you any good at admin?
What's that?
Well, running a restaurant, all the admin.
No,
from
no
the
interest
form,
in it
tax.
whatsoever.
So what, you're just fronting it?
Yeah, well, no, I mean, I had to, there wasn't a vegetarian in Akron, so we...
Are you doing any recipes?
No, I'm not a cook or anything.
Well then, so like this vegetarian restaurant, it don't seem like you're contributing anything to it.
Yeah, well, I have done because, it's my restaurant.
Okay, well what...
And all the people involved who were Italians and had Italian restaurants, it's kind of like making a restaurant with The Sopranos. they hadn't even thought about vegetarianism, and now it's like, they've
What you mean?
one of the probably the best vegan restaurant in America, I reckon.
Okay, where is this vegan restaurant?
It's in Akron, Ohio. I mean, I'm not trying to promote it here because who here is going to go to it?
No one's going to Akron, Ohio.
Never.
I mean, if I found myself in Akron, Ohio, what would be the name of that
It's
restaurant?
called the Vegetarian.
What would worry about me about going to the Vegetarian? What's it called?
Vegetarian.
What would worry about going to the Vegetarian is you said it's run by louts and gangsters and hoods.
Yeah, I know, but they've sort of come over to our side.
What? So you've seduced them into a world of veganism and peace?
Yes.
Well,
I don't know about the peace part.
Exactly, because I think they could at any point be tempted back to behaving like Sopranos, right? At any moment.
Well, it'll help me open a restaurant in Columbus. Okay, we're happening.
We're ready
What
with
have we got?
Carla Thomas, Baby.
Right, okay.
Are you going to help me with this?
No, bloody well
I'm
ain't.
doing this on my own.
Of course you are, because you're
It's ready.
an actual
Right.
singer.
Okay.
One
Oh,
second,
okay,
right.
stop
We now present
arguing.
to you Chrissy
It's
Hines
good
singing
karaoke
Baby. Here she goes.
Okay, you ready?
Yes,
Headphones if
we're
you need
ready.
Alright,
headphones.
Chrissy, put your headphones
Let's go.
on.
Why do I need that?
Because you won't be able to hear nothing. There she goes. This is Chrissy Hines.
Baby, ooh. Hang on, that's going to love you, call me baby. Oh, this is out of sync. That's not right.
Right, I'm beginning to realise.
Love you,
Paul,
call
stop
me
that.
babe. It's not in sync with the song.
Paul, stop that!
No,
It's the karaoke machine. I think we've discovered now why that duet was so difficult. Right, go to Brass in Pocket now, play that song. I'm going to have strong words with these karaoke people.
No, don't put brass in pocket. Come on, let's have a go.
No, but listen, all right.
Can you
if
just sync
don't-
it up?
Put on...
Maybe just listen to the track and read the words, but
No,
don't
let's put
follow the
on... Matthew,
thing.
let's put on When Will I Be Famous by Bros. Put on a track now.
Okay.
Let's do it. And let's recompose ourselves, talk to these karaoke people. There they were, Bros there. Bros stepping in and helping us. I think that's probably the most positive use of Bros in the history of music. Never before have they been used to put out fires. Bros gave us a little bit of breathing space. Now I can say to you, Chrissy Hind, while we're sat down,
Looking like Lemmy as you are.
do you think that this is how Lemmy sits, is it? I'm
That's how he sings.
perched
into
on a
the mic,
chair
yeah.
with the microphone
The
actually
mic is actually up. It's
phallically
one of his,
posed above me.
One of the distinctions of
Yeah.
the great man.
I think really that's one of the many distinctions of Lemmy. This is kind of how I imagine David Walliams would like to be addressed by me, poised with me talking into a phallus pointing downwards, gravitationally lulled towards my face. Now, Chrissy, thank you very much for coming here. Do you know what like that experience has taught me? Karaoke's quite bloody hard. You said it was easy. I find it difficult. It's like, how did that become a party sensation? Because it's like sort of having to do a job.
Well, no, it's when in the proper setting.
Do you think
i.e. a
there's
karaoke bar when it's synced up correctly?
Yeah, because what I long suspected is that Pete and Paul, the people that are doing that karaoke...
They stitched us up, man.
They stitched up there a couple of jokers, a couple of chancers. They're very much like a corrupt Bradford and Bingley sat out there.
They probably heard you insulting them as they were in the lift coming up.
Right, and then tucked us up, good
Yeah.
and proper. So normal karaoke is much easier.
Yeah, it's much easier. It gives you a chance to be whoever you want to be.
Well, I'm quite happy being me, really, but me not doing karaoke. Does it give me that opportunity? Is there a karaoke number?
If you're in the audience, yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of probably how I'd like
But
to...
the thing is, there is no audience. It's just a bunch of drunks sitting
Right.
around waiting for their turn and people going through the book,
Going through
finding
that,
their favourite
yeah.
song.
Fair
No
enough.
one pays attention.
What I'm glad of is I didn't bloody well do that in front of Elton John and Nick Cave. That would have been...
That's exactly where we should have done it.
Do you think that would have benefited from having... Because one of the few advantages of what just happened is that I didn't peruse the room and going, oh, God, there's Nick Cave over there, looking downward into his pint,
I
sorrowfully.
can't believe that you're nervous to sing in front of someone like that. Or
Why?
anybody. Why would you be?
Well, I suppose because singing, you have to be a little bit serious. And I don't really like being... This
I
is
don't
when
think you
like
have to be serious to sing, but, having a singing voice, apparently it's not for everyone.
No, well, evidently not. I mean, it's, you're Chrissy Hind. I'm me, old Russ. I think, so if you're a comedian, you're stood on stage going, hey, I'm a laugh, I'm having some fun. Whereas if you're a singer, you're standing there being all sexy. Now, you can do that. You have, even in your gait, your manner generally, you have a certain apparent sexuality, right? And so when you're singing, it doesn't seem like a massive jump. My personality don't lend itself very easily to, right, come on, let's be serious now, I'm quite sexy. You know what I mean? I feel like a bit daft. Unless I'm having it off. When I'm actually having it off, then I'm serious. I never joke during sex. Never joke. in that situation, Chrissy. Then I suddenly
Well,
become
that's good to know.
very, very serious. I'll take it, right, come on, let's get this sex done. Boring, I am,
But
banal.
it's not meant to be serious when you're singing. You're supposed to be having a laugh. That's why you're in a band.
Right, well, yeah, all right, maybe for the fun of the
But
all-encompassing
there aren't
fun
any
of the
bands anymore,
experience.
really, for the most part. It's kind of a dying art, so...
Really?
Maybe
There's
I'm-
no one you rate these days?
Yeah, I'm just saying it's getting thin on the ground.
Well,
It's not
thin,
like in days of yore when everyone was in a band.
Yeah, I suppose so, Chrissy. Them days
Everyone
over.
wants to be famous now. That wasn't the point then. It was about being...
Was it?
Was it what?
It wasn't about being famous then. It was more about
No, it
what
was just
some
to be, it was
artistic
so
endeavour.
that you didn't have to join in and you didn't have to, be part of society. It was more like being in the shadows.
Lurking around in the shadows. Matt might have some questions about that because he stands in his bedroom pretending to be in a band. Even now, they're called. What's your band called? The Malicious Jesters.
No, but it's a game called Guitar Hero 3.
Oh, take it seriously, Russell. Not called the Malicious
you have to give
Jesters.
it a band name, and I gave it Jesters and Malice. But I used to be in a band at school, and that was
Yeah.
back in the day.
What was
when
that? Oh, back
we didn't
in
want to
the
be
day.
part of society. We were like
You-
jesters, but jesters of malice.
Yeah, go on. So
Yeah.
what were the
Get your
band
head round
actually
that.
called? Because they
Why are
wouldn't
you
let you call
standing
it
up
that.
now?
Subculture at one point.
I'm going up a gear,
Oh.
aren't I?
He has to stand up when he talks to me.
What are they called? What was? Sorry, it's.
Subculture was. We ended up doing punk covers.
They were called Subculture.
Let's not
your
talk about
band.
me. Let's talk about your band, you two.
Now we're gonna take the band back on the road very soon. We'll be appearing at a karaoke bar near you.
Do you have a band?
No, I'm not. I've never been that way inclined, to tell you the truth.
You don't
know.
play anything and you don't sing.
No, because I'm a comedian. Like, I think if you've got one thing, you think, all right, I'm good at that thing. Concentrate, And plus, being good at comedy, you can write a book, be on a radio show, do stand-up, present TV shows, act on the television. Doing all those things, acting, films, do all that lot. You can't then suddenly go, well, I did once do When I'm 64 as a cover. Where is that, as a matter
Yeah,
of
let's
fact?
have a listen.
Let's have a little listen. Right,
Hey,
we'll
what
have-
about Jeff Beck being in the audience? Did you fancy getting up in front of him?
Well, no, you see, it's not a context in which I play. I don't mind sort of having a laugh. Say we was doing, like, if you'd gone, right, Russell, you play the part of a tubby little Dutch girl singing Islands in the Stream, pop on these clogs, right? I would have gone, all right, that sounds nice. I could have done it as the part of a little Dutch girl singing Islands in the Stream with
It's
Chrissy
always
Hines.
next week.
Right, that's let's see where we can take this thing. Yeah, right, have a listen to this. Right, listen to me. Is that going to come out in here? Will Chrissy hear it?
I'll leave the mics up if you want.
Yeah, leave the mics up. I think that's probably wise. Listen to this, Chrissy.
Feel
This
free to
is
sing along.
Put your headphones on.
this
you
is
two.
a recent
Oh, do I need
cover
mine?
of When I'm
Yeah,
64.
listen to this travesty.
Done by me. This was to celebrate 40 years since Sgt. Pepper, right? Oasis did one. Pete and Carl from Libertines done one. I done When I'm 64.
Enjoy your last moments of innocence before he sings.
Step into the light, Chrissy. Step into the
I've
light.
already had
Here
a
we go.
taste.
Hold on.
When I get older,
Touching.
losing my
Yeah,
head.
that's what I'm capable of now.
Creepy.
Many years from now,
It's like licking your ear.
Very beautiful.
will you still be sending me a Valentine?
I'm dying.
Birthday
Just £2 a month. We can save.
of wine.
That's much more tuneful.
See?
It's because they use technology.
You can do it.
Of course I can, but I can't do that kind of bloody all that pressure. Chrissy Hind in the room.
This is a lot of After Effects.
Lock the door. Will you still need
Oh, someone's
me?
shooting.
Will you still
For our new
feel
video with
me
Chrissy Hind.
when I'm 64?
Yeah?
Is that a single tear, Chrissy? Just. Heard enough?
Right, I think we've made our
I
point.
kind of got the idea.
Yeah, see, that's it. Right, so there you are, Chrissy. There's
very
me.
nice.
Thank you very much. Chrissy Hind is there applauding my musical ability. So yeah, if I'm entombed in a soundproof booth with David Arnold, the brilliant David Arnold, there's literally to say no limit to my capacity would be a lie, but the limit is less restrictive.
Can I stand up if you're going to...
Yeah, if you want. If you want to, Chrissy, you're very much a wild card guest on this show. I've noticed.
Why is that?
Well, moving about, standing up, sitting down, making demands of those poor karaoke fellas. Very, there's no telling what you'll do next. Look at you now, even I and me in that fashion. What makes you tick? I hung around with your daughter for a while. Do you know that?
Did you?
For a little while, Yasmin.
Oh, really?
Went out with her, in fact, for a while. Like, went on a few dates. She was lovely, very lovely.
Funny she never mentioned it.
That could be, I don't know, there could be a number of things. Shame, guilt, I don't, fear. I don't know, yeah, no, she was quite
I offered her to Steve Coogan when I met him.
Really? You offered a Coogan? Well,
I offered her to him.
As a gift. Well, by that stage, of course, she'd experienced Russell Brand, it would have been insufferable for her, I imagine, by then. So, okay, yeah, she was a very nice girl, lovely, very well brought up, tremendous fun, very bright, adorable person, Yasmin. Where is she?
Trip off the old block.
Very much so, yeah. In fact, now, glimpsing into your eyes, I can feel that same sense of seduction. She was adorable. You've got other daughters as well, have you?
Natalie, yeah.
I'm always struck by in pornography when you said, by the likelihood.
It's a very neat segue.
Hold on, no, but in pornography, when they do mother and daughter pornography, I think, well, surely that
they're not real mother and daughters.
No, of course they're not. I mean, that would be a deplorable conceit. But
isn't that?
Yes.
Like a false advertising? Then can't you get?
Well, I think if you buy pornography that's telling you, for example, that it's momsteachingteens.com, and then when you actually watch that pornography, you find that the moms are not the moms of the teens that they're actually teaching, and those teens are about 32 years old, I think then you've got a right to having your money back.
You'd be embarrassed in court, wouldn't you?
Go on.
Well, you'd be embarrassed, wouldn't you, go to court to try and sue a website saying they were not mother and daughter.
Look at this is clearly not the mother. This girl here's from Argentina, this woman here's from Colchester, it's preposterous. She's in her 40s. Yeah, no, it'll be a difficult case to pursue with any kind of vehemence, you're quite right.
Can I go now?
Why? What do you mean by that? Because it's drifted onto mother and daughter porn? Chrissy! Well, you're very welcome to leave at any stage. I don't want you held here under any duress. We just drifted off into a comic riff momentarily to lift the spirits of the show. You're still happy here, aren't you?
Yes.
You looked down when you said that. Chrissy, I think this is what I suppose, one struggles with an artistic woman because, you're very difficult to contain and control. Particularly if the process of conversation is being broadcast, because I've got other obligations. I'm doing a bleeding radio show. Look, for example.
Well, go for it. Do it.
Right, if you want to email us, it's russell.brand@bbc.co.uk. I've got to say things like that every so often, Chrissy.
I was sitting in with my dog for the night. I've got a life too.
Of course you bloody well have. Now, for God's sake, focus. Right, I'll tell you what, let's put on Gang of Four at Home He's a Tourist. Is that what I went past a massage parlour today on my way here, just, innocently. No, I'm just saying, the massage parlour had a sign, it was like a sauna massage, brothel, that's what it was, and it was in King's Cross, right? In the window, they'd put up a photocopy page, said, tourists welcome. I thought, well, why are they making that distinction? Why would a tourist not feel, I won't go in there. I'm a stranger in this land. Why have they? What's happened? They think we're not getting enough tourists.
Maybe some of them don't let tourists in.
Right, no, come on. How long you been here? Show us your passport.
Paying in euros.
No maps.
Get out.
For Christ's sake, that's Bratwurst. Oh, no. This is no way to behave. Let's listen to At Home He's a Tourist. A tourist will be very welcome at that massage parlour in King's Cross. Gang of Four. At Home He's a Tourist, Gang of Four. What's that you doing? It's not the one you wanted?
Nah, it's a cover.
I feel like a nan buying you the wrong Christmas present. Is that not the one you wanted,
Actually, it's not a cover,
dear?
it's a remix. But it doesn't matter, you got me the wrong Star Wars figures.
Once this lad bought me, there was a sand people, actually, and I once said to him, you can never have too many sand people because, they are multitudinous in the film. So this lad overheard me saying that, bought me yet another sand person, but by that stage I had 5 or 6, I had enough to represent sand people in the game.
You had that many sand people?
I'm only
I had
child.
one stormtrooper.
I had loads of stormtroopers. I had the one where Luke Skywalker's got a little pinhead underneath. He can take off his helmet.
Yeah.
The head was always a bit too small. And
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that's lovely. That was from Star Wars. The original Star Wars is where he dresses as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, when he's dressed as a stormtrooper.
Yeah, and he takes
I thought you meant the one where he dresses up as a bounty hunter and goes and sees Jabba.
He dresses
that's Princess Leia.
That's Princess Leia, yeah.
No, she's tied to Jabba.
The whole plots of those films must... it's Return of the Jedi. Well, let's not get bogged down in that. We've had enough to contend with over the course of this show. Dear darling Chrissy Hynde's gone now. What I suppose is hard is, because... I find it a bit difficult to do a bit of karaoke with someone.
I thought the karaoke was good.
Was a laugh.
I thought it was the icy rapport you had with each other.
She's off of the radio though. I'll sort of get on with her really well. But you can't. I think you can't be disrespectful to Chrissy Hynde. So that's why I suppose when I strayed into mother and daughter porn, I sort of thought, hold on a minute, this is a mistake.
You do it with everyone.
Well, I
You do
suppose
it.
that's my default setting.
Yeah,
if
well,
I
it
feel
shouldn't
nervous.
be.
Why not?
Clean
Sex.
up your act.
Yeah, but I don't do it all
You
the
think,
time in life.
"Oh, this is going a bit awkwardly. I know what I'll talk about.
Hey,
Mother and
I
daughter
wouldn't
porn.
mind having-
After saying I know your daughter.
That's what reminded me. I thought,
You idiot.
Hold on a minute, I know how to steer this out of trouble. Hey, why don't me, you, and your daughter all have sex? And
At
then
least then I know you really are her mother. Not like that court case I was involved in. Liars.
Mom's teaching teens, indeed. Hey, you've got no business teaching those teens. Teach your own teen. I thought, yeah, it comes to something when a social situation can only be rescued by bringing up the possibility of having a threesome with a mother
Honestly,
and
you've
their
got to
daughter.
go. You need counselling for sex.
I've had counselling for sex. I went away for a month. They couldn't do nothing with
You
me.
talk to a dear old man at the last of the summer wine. 2 questions in after asking him his name.
Okay, all right. So you're Wallace and Gromit, are you? All right. How big's your dick? Yeah, Chrissy Hine, great. Pretenders. Yeah, all right. Jim Carroll, lovely. Listen,
Told you
you,
that people-
me, your daughter.
Told you people who are in bands don't like listening to... Do you remember when Noel
She
Gallagher
weren't
came on the
bothered.
show? He wanted to listen to a Chemical Brothers song that had his voice in it, but he didn't
Yeah.
want to listen to an Oasis song.
What do you mean people in bands? Oh, that's like saying, you know, like, oh, all Ukrainians are dirty. Which you said on the way here.
Don't joke about that.
As if the Ukrainians aren't a marginalised group.
They probably are.
Right, well, if you are Ukrainian, I'm sorry you've been marginalised. I just plucked
Daily
that out
Mail
of thin
probably
air.
hates them.
Right, Daily Mail, leave Ukrainians alone. Oh, no, the comedian Boothby Graffo told me about this some bloke in a Burmese jail. I think he's called Yu Win Tin. He's a journalist. Get him out of that Burmese jail! He sent me a text message when he was all drunk. He'd read my Morrissey Guardian article, goes, you should use your voice to get this bloke Yu Win Tin released from a Burmese jail. So, Burma...
Sure his name's Yu Win Tin.
Or it was either that, or it was a competition I entered for Heinz recently. I think he is called You Win Tin. Right? Get You Win Tin. People can research it instead of researching your bloody Nick Leeson
Yeah,
case.
well, no one's come up with the goods on
Because
that,
it's
have they?
complicated.
No, I just want someone to go, right, he controls other people's money, and then he did this, and then
Well,
he did
it'll be
that
that then. He controls
I'm not
other
going to
people's
listen
money.
to my own Prayseed account saying I don't know. No, I wonder what the situation
He
is.
looks
Otherwise, I'll
after my-
listen to my own idea about it.
But for a concise view on this, let's listen to what I think. Oh, he looks
Listen to
out
the
of money.
left side of my brain.
Matthew, I'm the mathematical side of your brain. Please
worry
sit
about
down.
it.
Hey,
The Xbox.
I'm creative side of your brain. Let's smash things up a little bit. Let's jive, honey. We've got some emails here. This one is from Becky. I was talking to my nan the other day about giving some of my clothes to charity. I said, they're going to the Ukraine. And she replied, you're sending them to the Ukraine, just give them back. Give them to help the raged. Actual love, Becky. Yet more attacks on the people of the Ukraine.
So hang on, I'm not over the karaoke thing.
I think
yet.
it's because of
you went all red and
Shevchenko.
prickly. Your face went all red.
Well, it
Why?
was hard because I went hot. Do you know what I mean? It made me feel hot.
Did you think, oh God, I'm not very good at this singing?
No, I was able to accept not being good at singing because that's outside
There was bits
of the
where
world.
you sounded all right.
Yeah, no, well, I weren't that. It was just what I felt was I wasn't in control of the situation. I thought, like, because I was dealing with two things. I was dealing with, like, being polite to the lovely, brilliant Chrissy Hine.
What, hang on, what, when
and
you were
doing our
singing?
radio
How are you
show.
being polite when you were
No,
singing?
not the singing. Like, during the singing, I was like,
Polite, mother and daughters?
I thought, my God, where's my decorum? I've not tried to have sex with her.
Fuck, do I
and
use
children.
first? Hello, Vicar. Just sex.
Oh my God! Do I drive on the left side of the road or the right side? Sex! Get your knickers off! Look, no, I wasn't. But with the karaoke,
You need to talk to Paul McKenna about sex.
I do talk to him about it. I've been
Yeah,
trying to
about
have it
having
off with his
sex with
wife.
monkeys, the poor man.
Listen to me. What the situation was is we were doing that karaoke. Well, during the karaoke, I just felt the normal embarrassment of a person doing karaoke. After the karaoke, I felt the less typical embarrassment of this lady, Chrissy Hine, has got to be looked after, but it's looking after her. It's preventing me from being in the usual bloody sort of lexicon and behavioural mode of our radio show. Because, like, remember there was a bit where I turned to you and started mucking about with you. She went, hey, should I just go home? I thought, oh, bloody hell. Do you know what I mean? I've got to look after Chrissy Hine. And quite rightly, she's a very big star, very talented woman, etc., etc. But it's difficult for me to be
It's
a twit.
all you performers.
Look, you just sit
big
there on your
egos.
arse to drawing a picture of a maggot coming out of an apple shouting silence. That's what you were doing.
Yeah, I know. I think a psychiatrist needs to see me. Look at that.
Of course a
little worm
psychiatrist-
coming out of an apple saying silence.
That you do need to see a
been abused.
psychiatrist. Well, what you need to look, Matt, if you find yourself in a difficult situation, try talking about the old sex.
Yeah.
E.g., perhaps you're talking to Peter Sallis out of Last of Summer Wine. Think things are going a bit slowly? Ask him if he's ever thought thought about fingering Gromit? It'll bring you right back on track. Of course it will.
Imagine you were a counsellor. Imagine you went around children's wards. Imagine.
Whoa, I'd be a good counsellor. I'd be good in a children's ward. I'd be good in a
Yeah,
children's
you'd be good in a
ward.
children's ward, actually.
Because I'm good with children.
No, what you do is you show off and then exhaust yourself, and then the children go, "Do it again, Uncle Russell."
Look, just leave me. I'm terribly drunk. I feel ill. I can't bear this anymore. Do it again, Uncle Russell. Oh, John Rogers, bloody lout, your beautiful children smashing their way through my life. Right, okay, look, it's nearly the end of our radio show. Shame, really, because I'm back in a really lovely mood now.
No, we've gone the whole
Difficult.
gamut from
Oh.
inappropriate comments to awkwardness.
Yeah, it's
back
all been
to
there.
fun.
That's all on the Russell Brand Show.
At least it's
Absolute
live and it's real.
Thank God. Right, here, let's get Mr. G over here. He'll do a poem. Please welcome Poet Laureate of the show, who knows what he'll make of this week's madness as he summarises the entire show in a poem that he writes while he sat there. Mr. G, woo, yeah!
Okay, this poem is called Free Billy. Much like cracks in the pavement serenade the retracing of familiar steps onto unfamiliar stages, knowing full well the wages of a misplaced proclaimant is a well-placed regret. Swept up in Bros mania, trapped in Xbox insania, are they jesters of malice or messengers tragic, assisting the magic to explain the rogue of all traders? Extensions in vain are but screaming islands who blame the streams and estuaries for the mess we see, karaoking and joking except during sex you see. So as mother and daughter escorted to the land with no name, hey, don't hate the players, just hate the game.
Yeah.
Don't hate the players, hate the game. It's Mr. G, all on the mic. Fantastic work. Oh.
Go on, ask G about sex.
G, I expect you like a bit of... By which I mean sex. Hold on, we've got an email. Do you? Of course he does. I spoke to him about it plenty of times. No point getting bogged down in more sex. This is from Vlad. Hi, Matt, Russ and G. I heard some Buddhist monks fight in Burma or somewhere like that. Some of them punch each other. Some of them do swearing. Others have guns and knives and do whack on you. You silly boy.
Buddhist monks do kung fu, don't they, some of them?
The Shaolin monks, yeah, I suppose so. But they do it in a sort of big artful way, not yobbing around like a
yeah, but you
grasshopper.
try and break into their temple and I'll kick your ass.
Why would I try and break into? I'm right behind the monks. I've always been behind them.
Right
Get
behind
out of
their
Tibet,
temple,
China.
trying
Get
to
out
break
of
into
Tibet.
it.
Find out about you Win Tin or whatever, everyone. Right, and get him out of that Burmese nick. Like Booth, big
Burmese, what a fool.
Here, there's some puss on the Burmese nick.
Is she Birmingham, Is she Birmingham?
Hey, what's wrong with you, bloody Burnhamans?
Called you front some copper.
You dirty Burnhamans, you've stuck him in a jail. Get him go, you Winton. You Winton. I think it's called Lotto Bronze or something. Get him out, free him. Right, my nan was once told, says Robin Watford, my nan was mildly racist to my Chinese girlfriend, told her Chinese New Year was a terrible thing. Bless her. That's just against Chinese New Year. Well, I suppose that's because it makes a mockery of any other New Year. Because you sort of think, well, hold on, either it's a New Year or it ain't. If it's just people are having New Year whenever they want, it means that, you know, go on.
What?
Why did you just do something really weird that you went...
I put my hand up.
What does that
I'm
mean?
polite.
What did you put your hand up for? What do you
Can
want?
I speak?
Yeah.
I've got a nan thing.
All right, go on then.
My brother-in-law got into his...
Why did you put your hand up? That's mental.
Because I just went like...
I've
got a nan thing. Excuse me.
Do you need a nan thing? Go on. Yeah, your nan what?
He got my brother-in-law got into his nan's car to drive it. Got into the driver's seat, adjusted the mirrors, and she went, "Oh, do you use them?" So she's been driving for years without using her mirrors.
Just thought they were decorative.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Oh, and it makes a sound when you press the middle of this steering wheel. Oh, that's lovely. Dear old Nan's, where would we be
What age
without
are you
them?
not allowed to drive after?
I don't know, but I'm not allowed to drive at all. I ain't got a licence. I don't think that you should have the elderly driving about, do you? Or moving about. Or should they be allowed out of their houses at all? Should they? Keep them locked away? Yeah, push them down the stairs, see if they can cope? No, not the elderly. We love them dearly. Right. Oh, wow, what a show. I ain't spoken to Noel Gallagher. I can't even remember what Noel Gallagher sounds like, or looks like, or what he does for a living. Where is he? Let's get Noel Gallagher.
Have you had contact with him?
A few texts here and there, you know, a bit. Wait till he finds out about this Morrissey fiasco. He's going to eat that up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gonna
we'll
it.
love that.
Did you go and see Morrissey?
No, he was going to come Tuesday. He didn't bother turning up. Right, okay, so, right, show's nearly finished. See if there's anything worth rounding up. What? You do some odd things lately, Matthew Morgan.
What have I done now?
Snuffled.
I've held this show together today.
You've snuffled
What about
in
when you and
You
Chrissy
tried to let
Hynde stood
Chrissy
there
Hynde
like
do
two-
another bloody record.
Yeah, because she wanted to. I was looking after her.
You
were
can't
like,
just...
Stop it.
We can't
The karaoke machine's out of time.
It was Chrissy Hind weren't happy with the karaoke machine. You can't just let her keep
Mate,
doing
I
karaoke
held
all
that
day.
together.
How did you hold it together?
There was a time when you were both stood there like spoilt brats. And I had to go, come on, stop fine. I think you're both good. I think you're both brilliant. I think you're a very funny comedian and you're a very good singer.
Very nearly capsized the entire bloody show, that did. This is from Joe. This isn't a Nan story, but still funny. I was out shopping with my auntie once, and she pointed at an old lady and said very loudly, "She has trendy shoes on for an old woman." The old woman had a club foot and was wearing a built-up shoe. Your auntie is what can only be described as a hater, but hey, don't hate the player, hate the game. That's the way it
Well,
often
no
is.
one's explained the Road Trader thing. Maybe I misjudged
Don't
that.
worry about it. Get you win tin out of Nick in Burma. Explain to Matt what that means. Just say, I'll tell you in the car on the way home. I
You
know
don't know what it means.
I know what it means. It's to do with he's been on the rob and he's caught with his fingers in the till. What are you getting up? Here, guess what Chrissy Hind said after she went? She goes, "Yeah, that." And when I'm 64, she goes, "Bloody brilliant! You've got a lovely voice.
she
you can
didn't.
do it. It's obviously your nerves." She did. She made it very clear. She thought it was a
I know.
great
I heard
talent.
her say, "Never go to that vegetarian restaurant again." I heard that.
Oh dear. Hey, well done, John. Lynn's son John, boxing champion, English boxing amateur champion. Lynn, my housekeeper. Well done. He's bought me some nice pirate plasters. That's nice. I like those. Thank you very
Don't
much.
understand a word of that.
Lynn, my housekeeper, her son
Her
John,
son.
boxing champion, bought me
Right.
some pirate plasters. Imagine that, little plasters with skull and crossbones on them, like we got in
When was
America.
the last time you had to wear a plaster?
Always having to wear them.
Why?
On my heels or
What are you
something.
up to?
What do you mean? I'm not up to nothing. I'm just living my life. I keep myself to myself. You know, I'm never in any trouble. You hardly know I'm here. Right, what a show it's been. There's been moments of chaos. Yes, there has. But that is the nature of live radio. We've brought you a fantastic show. I thank Chrissy Hind. I thank Dale Winton. I thank Peter Salis, Mr. G, Matt Morgan, everyone who's enlivened and lightened up this magnificent piece of broadcasting. Even the karaoke blokes sat out there in a haze of their own boozed-up drunkenness. I thank you too. Their moody karaoke machine, like that robot thing out of Short Circuit, propped up in the corner of the room. Thank you, everyone. Time now for a bit of yes, you know, we need to know it. This is BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM. This is BBC Radio 2. Love you, boy, boy.